IndyCar welcomes you to the Grand Prix of Portland here in Oregon, and this is an absolutely fantastic venue. Let's get straight into it then and welcome you to the pre-show here on JBMotorsports and the Grid Network, and hear from the drivers pre-weekend with Jackson Lambros.
Christian Rasmussen, one top 10, an incredible performance at the 500. Give me your insights on your season so far.
Yeah, it's been a little bit up and down, I think. We've shown good pace at multiple locations now, and, have had a couple of fast 12s now, and, top 10 at Mid-Ohio, which was really cool. So it's definitely all coming together here towards the end. This will obviously be my last race of the year, only doing the road and street circuits, but just looking to finish it off strong, just kind of keep building on the direction that we've been heading all season long.
Talk to me about what a ideally good result would be for you this weekend. If we're talking Sunday, you're looking at me and saying, I'm proud of what we've achieved today.
Yeah, I think another fast 12 and probably a top 10 in the race, I think, is probably where we are right now, and I would consider that a good weekend.
Obviously a little bit of rain this morning. Is that something you guys have been talking about at all in the trailer, and is that something you're kind of approaching this weekend with?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to stay dry for the rest of it, so hopefully it kind of dries up for our practice session later today. That'll make it a lot more useful for everyone, but we're just kind of seeing what it gives us this weekend.
So you're in the camp of maybe rain would not be helping you out this weekend?
Yeah, I don't think so. Especially when it only looks like it's going to rain today. If it's going to rain Sunday, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think I haven't done a wet race in IndyCar yet, but usually suits me pretty well. So rain on Sunday I wouldn't be opposed for, but it looks like it's only going to be today.
Going to end on a big one and then a fun one. Obviously a lot of speculation going into this silly season, not just you, but for a lot of drivers. Is there anything you can share on your progress towards returning in 2025?
Not other than I would love to be back in the IndyCar series. That's my goal, and that's what we're working towards. I would love to come back with at Carpenter Racing. I think we've really showed some good stuff here towards the end. So to build on that for next year, I think would be a good thing, we'll see. Nothing is done yet, and I'm just hoping to be back.
Sure, there's a lot of people that would love to see you back. Rinus VeeKay, we had a really long stretch there where we were looking for top 10s, and now we're looking at 4 or 5 at this point?
Yeah, I think it's 4 in a row now, so looking pretty good, and I feel like we can extend it to the end of the season, so would love to get a few top 5s in there, though. That would be even better.
Talk to me about your expectations or what you hope to achieve here in the last couple of races, especially going into some unfamiliar territory with Milwaukee and Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, those are tracks. I've tested on Milwaukee. I've never been to Nashville, so it's going to be kind of a guess on what's going to happen with little practice time. But, I mean, from what I've seen, everything, it's turn left. Yeah. I think we'll figure it out pretty soon, and we got a simulator that can at least help me get familiar with the track and where to run.
At the point now, going back to the car, where we're 5 races in now with the hybrid system, are you kind of at the point now where the hybrid system kind of feels like second nature?
It does, yeah. I mean, when I first tested it, I didn't know anything about hybrid systems, but it does feel like it's been like that for a long time. It doesn't feel like something I need to be conscious of doing. So no, it feels very normal and very familiar. I think it's not a very complicated system either. Like it's pretty simple, and coming from I'm from the gaming era, so adjusting to different buttons, it's not that hard now.
Gonna have a serious one here, and then we'll end on 2 fun ones. Obviously, a lot of speculations here for the 2025 season and the silly season. Anything you can share with us on progress towards getting a ride next year?
Nothing yet. No, I wish we had something set already, but no, we're still looking at what is the best thing we can do to excel my career.
I'm not alone here when I say we'd love to have you back. Stingray Rob, first top 10. Talk to me about your experience at Gateway.
Well, it was awesome. Qualifying, I knew we had a better car the more we qualified. So I was hoping that we could go forward in the race, but based off the ovals that we had this year so far, other than the 500, it's been really hard to pass, just because the field's so competitive. The new tire compound makes it difficult. The degradation level is very low, so you don't have that big beginning of stint, end of stint sort of crossover that you normally see at an oval. But we raced really well. Conditions were really good for us. As the temps cooled on the track, we got faster and faster and kept moving forward. It was really good.
Talk to me about what your goals are for the rest of the season, where if we're talking at the checkered at Nashville, we can say, I'm proud of what I've achieved this year.
I think a couple more top 10s would be great, especially with the ovals coming up. It seems like we've had a really good car recently on those, so I think we're going to keep building that. The compound, like I said, has been different this year, so I think that we've kind of found a platform that's good for that tire. But being here at Portland, this is kind of like my home race, and so if we could get a top 15, top 12, top 10 here, I'd be very stoked.
Boise, Idaho native. Does it feel like, because during Iowa we had a very negative reflection on the on-track product, did the wheel-to-wheel aspect of Gateway spook you guys or catch you by surprise at all?
I don't know about spook. I think that we were all very happy to see that we could actually race. You know, Iowa, I think, was a little bit of an anomaly just because the repave. I'm hoping it was an anomaly because Gateway was great racing. And we got to see the line kind of expand because there was no marbling from the tire that wasn't degrading as much as we normally see. So the line stayed wider longer than it had at past years. So that was really good to see.
Let's talk about the rest of the season here after Portland, Nashville, and Milwaukee. Does going to a place where it's a place people haven't been a while, that feel like kind of a field balancer for you?
No, because I know there's still some guys that have experience there, but I think anytime you go to a new track, the guys that have been testing there, because there has been a little bit of tire testing, a little bit of hybrid testing there, it gives them an advantage. And we're one of the teams that hasn't tested there. So I don't think it levels the field at all. I think that it kind of gives the teams that have that small edge a bigger advantage than what we normally see.
Graham Rahal, one of the few guys that's been, I'm not trying to call you old, I promise, that's been around here since the Champ Car days. A lot of up and downs on memories. Talk to me about your relationship with this track.
Yeah, actually, you know, one of my first big wins, Star Mazda, was here. Formula Atlantic the year after that, I was on pole here. I got taken out second corner. Well, not even really taken out, just hit in the rear, broke the shift lever. Took us out of the race, though, ultimately, which kind of stunk. But, yeah, and then Champ Car was very competitive here. So, and obviously the last 2 years here, we've led a lot of the race. You know, I mean, last year as well as 2 years ago in the Total car. So, you know, things have changed, you know, quite a bit for sure. You know, the cars are changing. That's going to be the topic of this weekend, is to see it's quite fast corners here. You know, how does that feel? But it's a great track, beautiful area of the world, and you know, hopefully we can. I mean, I'd just love to win another one here. It's been, like I said, just so close yet so far, it seems.
You were one of the initial drivers that came in at the start of the DW12 era, and that car's gone through so many changes over the years. How has that affected you from behind the cockpit? How much of a difference has it been from behind the cockpit?
Yeah, I mean, this chassis is the cat with 9 lives for sure, you know, and it just, you know, when it started, it was very challenging because of the weight distribution. Very hard to get the car to feel good. But then it evolved into quite a racy car there. The Aero Kit car was a wild example of it. My favorite generation was probably right after that, even though the Aero Kits, when I had my most success, 5 of my wins came during that, you know, that experiment with the crazy aerodynamics and stuff that we had. You know, and then now here we are entering not only the aero screen phase, but now the hybrid phase. You know, things have, it actually shows you though how good the chassis itself was, right? That it could go through this many phases and still be pretty competitive, which is great.
Asking it to do things it was never supposed to do, right?
It was never supposed to be this heavy. It was never supposed to have a hybrid. It was never supposed to have an aero screen. It was never supposed to do, you know, I mean, the aerodynamics that the car has accepted is probably a 600-pound range up or down. I mean, it's a wild difference from where it originally was designed to be.
You've had Portland experience. You've also had Milwaukee experience. Does that feel like that's going to help you at all for the remainder of the season, or does it feel like such a difference from the last time you guys were there?
It's night and day from when we were there last, but also just everybody in this sport is damn good now. And so, you know, it's not like a guy like Scotty McLaughlin's going to take a race weekend to warm up to Milwaukee. He's going to be good within 5 laps. So, that's just the facts. That's the realities of where we're at. So, our car, I thought St. Louis, we got a lot better on race day. Hopefully that can carry over to Milwaukee, and we can be in a better place there. And then obviously you go from Milwaukee, which is a flat. I mean, all 4 of the short ovals that we run here at the end of the year are all wildly different. Iowa, Gateway, Milwaukee flat, there's no banking really. And then you go to Nashville, which has a lot of banking. So it's going to be pretty unique here to finish this season off.
Romain Grosjean, a lot of highs and lows so far this year with Juncos. Talk to me about everything this year so far up to Portland.
Yeah, I think we've had a very good season. Don't think we've been paid back properly. Very unlucky in a lot of events, but generally, improving race after race. I think we have some very good qualifying and very good race pace, and whenever everything comes our way, it's going well. So a very good season. We're not where we should be in the standing, but control what we can control.
You've got the F1 experience, so I kind of want to throw this one at you. Would you say there's a lot of parallels to the chicane here to maybe turns 1 and 2 at Monza? Do you approach it maybe the same way as a driver?
No, it's fairly different because the chicane here, you can cut the first part of the curb, or you cannot in Monza. So back in the days in Monza, turn 3 and 4 before they redid all the curves. But no, sadly, it's kind of a very unique one.
Talk to me about what you want to achieve before the end of the season, where if we're talking again at Nashville, you can say, I'm really proud of how we closed this year out.
I think I'm very proud of what we've done this year so far already, and of course we're gonna keep trying, keep knocking into top 10 and top 5. For sure, if we stand on the podium, it would be fantastic. But I mean, we keep growing, we keep moving forward, and I'm very happy where we are.
You've probably been asked hybrid questions a million times, so I'm going to throw you the last one here, promise. 5 races in, do we feel like we're at the point now where we're used to it?
Used to what?
Does it feel like second nature now using the hybrid system? I know you had F1 time, so that probably helped, but are you done adapting to it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm still not the biggest fan of the hybrid, but it's part of our racing. We just need to get used to it. I'm sure there's a lot of room for improvement for next year, and I'm expecting IndyCar to make a big step.
Toby Sowery, fantastic debut a couple races back. Has it felt like a smooth introduction for you to IndyCar?
As smooth as can be. Mid-Ohio went really well for us. It's a shame we didn't get the extra position that we really wanted to get into, but yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, DCR have done a fantastic job. They're obviously quite experienced at bringing new drivers in, so they've made it very easy for me, and been a massive support and really been kind of influential in giving me the platform to perform. So far, so good.
You and Hunter McElrath are the only 2 drivers to have made a debut during the hybrid era. Do you feel like that's had any benefit towards you kind of getting your feet wet in this car?
Probably not, no. You mean it's an extra thing we have to learn. It's not the easiest thing to jump in IndyCar and just kind of get racing straight away. Normally get a winter season prep, but unfortunately neither of us got that opportunity. So having to learn the hybrid as well makes it a bit more difficult, but I think we both did a great job at overcoming that obstacle. So I think it proves that, we can kind of swim with the big boys.
As a guy joining mid-season without that preseason preparation, what's been the hardest thing to adapt to or get used to from behind the wheel?
Just the length of the race. Obviously we're both doing endurance racing as well, but the length of the race where it's a lot more full on and there's less of a rest. There's obviously strategy to be involved, but when you've got 5 push laps and then kind of limiting the rest to extend a stint, we don't really have that in IndyCar. So pushing the whole stint for 3 or 4 stints and the duration of the races is probably the biggest thing you have to get acclimatized to. But generally, it's another race car. It's got steering wheels, got some pedals. So minus a little bit here and there, it's fairly easy, fairly straightforward.
Well, Power, a lot of highs and lows this season. Talk to me about the mentality going into Portland.
It's almost a must-win situation. Not really, but certainly sort of podium. Yeah, you've got to turn up this weekend. Wow, man, last week was very just disappointing, because that was sucks when you have a very good race for 90% of the night, and it ends, like that. A very good car, a chance at winning, but that's racing, sometimes you win from 21st, like in Iowa. It's like you can't complain. Turning up, very focused, as I always am, but I feel good, and I think the car will be good. We'll see what happens.
We know you guys are fast on the ovals, and you've had Milwaukee experience before.
Yeah.
Does that help at all? I was talking to Graham. He said it was like night and day for what Milwaukee used to be, but does it feel like you might have even just a little bit of advantage from when you used to ran there?
It is very, very different. It's lost a lot of grip, and I think the tyre they bought is just too hard. So it sort of just never gets into the track. I think experience somewhat helps, but ultimately one session in, you kind of get the lay of the land.
Talking about the tires, obviously Iowa was really hard to pass, and then you guys are consistently running side by side at Gateway. Did that catch any of you guys by surprise, the on-track product there? Or?
It caught me by surprise. When I saw it turned into 2 lanes again, it took Joseph to go up there, and 2 things I would say: a harder tyre, so there wasn't as many marbles, and more downforce, so the car didn't slide as much to create marbles. That were probably 2 factors that played into a really good racing.
So the answer isn't softer tires, less downforce, it's harder tires, more downforce.
It's very, very difficult to get the formula right everywhere. For that particular race, that was the formula, because you got a 3 and 4 that's almost flat, and you've added enough to be, just flat enough to get a run on someone. If someone struggles more, there's a bigger difference. But yes, that's the first time I've realized, harder tires, more downforce, less sliding, less marbles. That's not the answer everywhere, because it's a low bank track, so it's hard to say what a high bank track would be the case. But when we raced IRL, that was the case. It was just massive downforce, so you just stayed side by side. You never even passed because there's no differentiator. So very tough to get that right. But that's the formula for that track. We know now, and you can just tickle on it a little bit. But that was a track that you really could never pass at. That now turned into a fantastic race. So shows we can do it. We just got to do our homework.
You, Graham, a couple of other guys, Scott Dixon, have been here since the genesis of the DW12 era. The car's changed a lot, obviously. How much has that evolved for you behind the wheel? How much has it changed for you?
The car, has changed significantly. Moving the weight distribution forward, the radiators forward. Aerodynamically, it changed. Obviously, we went through 3 different aerodynamic iterations. We're on the 3rd one now. The 3rd one was much better for racing, much closer, a lot more downforce from the floor. Looking forward to the next iteration of actual car.
Josh, good to see you again. I know last year you had big news about your program this year. Overall, how would you rate this season?
Not great, I think we've really been on the back foot this season in the 14 car, and it hasn't been where we want to be, especially for kind of like my first full year, coming off of a decent half year last year. I feel like we've wanted more, and so I'm a bit disappointed with where we are currently heading into Portland. But that being said, there's lots of room for improvement. I've made lots of mistakes this year. And along with some bad luck, it just hasn't been what we were hoping for as a crew and as a team. And sometimes years are like this, where you have a bad year and an off year, and it's all about how you make the comeback. So, I'm looking forward to this weekend and hopefully starting off on a strong foot here for the last couple of rounds.
Now, of course, with your racing background, being from the Pacific Northwest, we had rain today. Tomorrow looks iffy. We don't know if it's going to be wet or not. Do you have a preference, a dry race or a wet race?
I don't really have a preference. I mean, ideally, I'd like it to be dry, especially because I just don't have that many laps around here. I think I touched on this last year about this being my home track, ironically, because I've never really driven it before. So last year was my kind of first experience, and that was all in the dry. So if it ends up raining, that's just going to add a new challenge for me, and I'm going to be having to learn a new circuit in the wet. So, I'm fine either way. obviously I've got lots of experience practicing in the rain in a go-kart and driving in the rain because I'm from the Pacific Northwest, but that doesn't necessarily give me an edge, especially when you've got lots of guys coming from European motorsports like Kaio that are really, really good in the rain, and Louis Foster as well. So lots of tough competition. I think either way is going to make for an exciting race. So I'm fine either way. I think I'd probably prefer it in the dry if possible, but whatever it throws at us, we're going to be ready for it.
And then last year we saw turn one, the Shelton chicane issues. It seems to be a tradition here at Portland International Raceway. When it comes to qualifying, how critical is that going to be to ensuring getting through that first corners cleanly?
It's a big deal, especially in a series like Indy NXT, and even in IndyCar, qualifying is a big portion of it. At least in IndyCar, you have a bit more that you can do strategy-wise to try and make up a deficit, but in Indy NXT, we don't get that, right? We don't do pit stops. We don't have to save fuel, so it's flat out the whole time. And so where you qualify makes a really big difference, and that's particularly been my kind of downfall this year, is I never really had a strong qualifying performance aside from Road America. Road America was my best finish of the season so far. So we know it's important to get a qualifying, and for sure here it makes a big difference. If you can be further up the grid, going into that first turn, there's less of a chance of maybe being in the melee. So mid-pack is probably the worst spot to be in turn one here, but hopefully we play nice this year and it stays clean, but it's always a risk, and it's just a matter of dealing with it in a respectful and calm demeanor.
Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you this weekend.
Thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time.
Jack, welcome to Portland. Jack, how excited are you for this race weekend here at Portland International Raceway?
I'm super excited. I've been here before in the junior cars, so it's nothing new. But I mean, this track is so cool. The people here are cool. The city, just everything about it. It's awesome. I'm from the Midwest, so all the nature and everything out here is not what I'm used to.
Now, of course, Portland, compared to some of the other road courses, it's much smaller, a lot less elevation change. We're talking an IndyCar, some 1 minute laps for you guys, a little bit longer, but do you think the competition is going to be just as fierce, and any concerns about that first corner with everybody on that first lap?
I mean, I've been on the receiving end of the turn one, and then I've also benefited a lot from turn one, so I think that it kind of is what it is. Personally, I love this place. This reminds me of like an IMS or any of those really like flat road courses. And I think that this breeds good racing, and it makes it where it's like really tight. You'll see the whole field almost within a second of each other. So personally, if you gave me this option over somewhere that has the elevation and all of the super technical turns, I'd choose one of these places.
When Portland, weather, we're seeing wet weather today. Any concerns about the weather for the race, and a preference wet or dry race?
The weather, man, it is what it is. If it's dry, then that's fun. But I also really like when it's wet. I've been here when it's wet before, so no complaints there. But I mean, that's something I don't have control over. So I'm just going to do the best that I can do.
And then with the remaining season, what are some of the big goals you have, especially as we're wrapping up for this year and start entering into next year?
I think big goals are just get top tens and do well in qualifying is really what I'm planning on doing. So that's kind of it. Not anything special.
Thank you so much for your time, Jack. Best of luck to you this weekend.
Thank you guys for having me.
Louis, good to see you. This season, a lot of people are seeing you as the champion sort of coming. How do you feel about this year and people saying that you got this all wrapped up, the championship?
Yeah, I mean, it's not over till it's over, but we've had a really good car all year. Me and the Andretti team, we've all hit our strides really well, so we've just worked really, really hard to be at this point.
Now, you've had success here at Portland before. How excited are you for this track in particular compared to the remaining of the season?
Yeah, I think obviously it's our last road course of the year, so I'm looking forward to it. But no, I enjoy it. It's great to come back up to the Pacific Northwest. It's an awesome track, awesome place as well. Oregon is a beautiful, beautiful state. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping we can have a weekend like last year, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Now, of course, Indy NXT, part of the ladder system, road to Indy. When it comes to 2025, is that something that you're just putting behind, like I got to focus on the Indy NXT championship, or is that something where already people are starting to question you, like what's going to happen next year? Are people starting to make you speculate, like what should I be doing next year?
Well, I mean, I think it's clear that the goal is to go to IndyCar next year. But it's a very difficult championship to get into, even if you do win Indy NXT by Firestone. Sponsorship is hard to come by, and it's expensive to get in. So yeah, we're still looking for sponsors and looking for people who can help us get up to IndyCar. But yeah, any opportunity we get will be greatly appreciated.
And last question, this year, a lot of competition in Indy NXT. Jamie Chadwick, Jacob Abel. Overall, do you feel this is one of the most competitive years for Indy NXT?
Yeah, I think it's just been getting stronger and stronger. You know, you look back to 2018 when there was like 8 cars in the field, whereas this year we've had pretty much a full field all year of 20 cars. So yeah, I think it's getting more and more competitive every year, as every championship does. You know, so you know, it's great to be a part of it, and it's great to have such a good season whilst it's this competitive.
Louis, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
Jacob, welcome to Portland. This year, very competitive year. Overall, how would you rate your season in Indy NXT?
Yeah, it's been very strong. You know, we've come out here and won some races and got some really good results, a bunch of podiums, some pole positions. It's been a really excellent year for us as a team. You know, we've been in that championship hunt all season long, and that's really all you can ask for. So, yeah, hopefully we can, you know, get another win or two to end off the year, and that'd make it really awesome.
When it comes to Portland International Raceway, how important will it be qualifying, not only to just stay ahead of the competition when you start the race, but also the race itself? Because everyone talks about the Sheldon chicane, but after that Sheldon chicane, what are some of the big challenges of this road course?
Yeah, I think honestly that's the biggest thing is getting through turn 1. You know, the race doesn't really start until about turn 3 on the first lap. You know, if you aren't in the fight by then, you're obviously not going to have a chance to win or anything like that. Unfortunately, we did get caught up in that last year here in turn 1, so the tire wear and all of that's going to be a little bit of an unknown for our program. But yeah, looking forward to it. I think we've got some exciting things to bring for our road course package for this weekend that we feel pretty confident about.
And this year was Indy NXT, big fields throughout the entire season. The competition level we're seeing this year, is this one of the most competitive fields you've been in your racing career throughout the Indy ladder system?
Yeah, it's competitive for sure. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, really strong drivers for sure. Obviously, Louis, you know, myself, Kyle Collette's been a super proven talent in Europe, as well as Jamie Chadwick, and you know, you have proven winners up and down the grid. So it's been pretty awesome to be a part of that and be at the front of that. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just another race, and they're just other drivers. So you just got to kind of take it one race at a time and one corner at a time and move forward.
Jacobs, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
Wonderful atmosphere here in Portland as well, as we are bigging up to the start of the action here for the bitnow.com Grand Prix of Portland. Santino Ferrucci still has pole position, of course. That's what we're going to be gearing up to. We'll hear from him later on in the show after the team caught up with him trackside here as well. Just a few drivers also starting on the alternatives. It's been announced Joseph Newgarden and Roman Grosjean, Kyle Kirkwood, Pedro Fittipaldi, along with Yuri Vips, Toby Sowery, Linus Lundqvist and Pato O'Ward. They're going to start on the red-walled tyre as well, which is always going to be quite interesting to see. Let's check in then as well. Just before the Gateway race in preparation for the Grand Prix of Portland, Jackson Lambrose also sat down and had a word with Alexander Rossi. We can join that conversation now.
Joined now by Alexander Rossi, driver of the number 7 Velo Chevrolet for Arrow McLaren. Alex, really appreciate the time for chatting with me. Know you're still recovering from a hand injury and surgery over these past 3 weeks during the Olympic break. Can I ask if you're 100% or if you're still going to need a brace or anything else for this upcoming race at Gateway?
100%. You can ask, and I am 100%. They want a brace on just to make sure it doesn't like overextend again, because there's quite a bit of hardware in there that they don't want to have damage before a normal 6 weeks time period elapses. But no, it's we got full range of motion and strength back, and very thankful that we had this break to get that all done.
Lovely. Return to Gateway this weekend, then you're off to Portland, going to be the last natural road course and normal road course of the 2024 season. After that, 2 ovals we haven't seen in a while in IndyCar. How big is the Portland weekend for you and the whole team when it comes to a race where experience and team notes from past races aren't necessarily available?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's you want to end that phase of the season on a high note. I think that's the big thing. But I also think that that's one of our, let's be honest, road and street courses aren't, necessarily our best kind of tracks that we have. Saying that, Pato actually has a win on each of those this year, but maybe on the 7 side, road and street courses have been a little bit of a struggle. But we have good experience at Portland. We feel like we had a very good car there last year. I think Felix was one of the best cars of the field last year, but had an issue in qualifying. It suits the Chevrolet engines very well. I just think it's a track that's quite good for our cars. So we're looking forward to getting there, but also looking forward to, as I said, ending that phase of the season on a high note. I think obviously for me, especially missing the last race in Toronto, you want to get back to a road course and kind of show what you as a team are capable of.
100%. Team's been good here. You've been good here. 5 starts at Portland, 32 laps led, only 1 lap not completed, 539 out of the 540 over the 5 years. 2 podiums last year, only time you didn't finish in the top 10. Gotta ask, how close do you feel like you're getting to maybe being on the top step this year?
I think it's, as I kind of alluded to earlier, I think this one is circled on our calendars as one of our favorite road courses and the one that we have the best opportunity at. So really looking forward to kind of, make amends for last year. It was a disappointing end to the race. We were kind of top 5, top 6 all day, and had some contact with another car, which required us to come into pit lane. We didn't finish the race. So, that one stings a little bit. And, I think that we've had a lot of good prep time on the sim for Portland. We have some new things we're bringing based on what we've learned throughout the year. Obviously, the hybrid power unit's going to have a little bit of an effect on how that track races from years past. But I think we're all very cautiously optimistic of what we're capable of.
Speaking of hybrids, it feels like every time I run into you, I somehow find a way to ask you about the hybrids. So I'm going to throw another one at you. First time I'm talking to you since that's been integrated at Mid-Ohio, but been racing with it for a little bit now. Obviously, I don't think it's had as much of an effect as some drivers thought initially, but have you had any adjustment to your driving style or your mental approach to races since this integration of the hybrids?
No, it's been pretty seamless, actually, which is a credit to Chevy and Honda and IndyCar and everyone involved in getting it to that point. It's not a game changer in any respect, in a good way or a bad way, which I guess is good. It gives you a little bit more to think about, over the lap, managing the energy and how you're regenerating and deploying that energy. But in terms of it affecting, the car balance or the driving style, it's been pretty invisible, which is great. And it actually is enjoyable. It gives you another tool to kind of play with and try and differentiate yourself from your competitors.
I feel like overall the car itself has changed so much since you first came to the series in 2016. You came in with the rear pods and the UAKs, and now whole new aero kit, added in the air screen a couple of years back. Just how much do you feel like the car has evolved in your kind of tenure here at the IndyCar series?
It's changed a lot. I'll be frank and say, it's all we've done each year is really put on weight. I will say that some of that is a necessary evil in terms of improving driver safety and things that needed to be done. But, I think certainly on the ovals, we've seen the raceability of this package not be, what it should be or what we all believe it could be. And really, I think a lot of that comes down to just car weight. This car is 12 years old, and we've done nothing but add parts to it. So that's just what's going to happen. Not really a fault of anyone's. Some of the things, as I said, were very necessary. But at this point, you're putting one Band-Aid on top of another one. So one day we'll get a new car and that'll reset everything back to zero.
New rookie, since Laguna Seca, Nolan Siegel in the third car. We know rookies are kind of taken under the veteran driver's wing, and with the 10 years, I feel like a lot of people have kind of put you in that role. You and Nolan work together that much, or is the whole Air McLaren team kind of different as it's part of the whole bigger McLaren team globally?
No, we work very closely together. It's been a little bit of a strange year, as I'm sure everyone knows, in terms of, a lot of different faces at different times. But Nolan got into the car and right away in Laguna was a contributing factor to, helping, add valuable input to the development of the car. And, it's still fairly early on in me getting to work with him, especially since I missed Toronto. So going into this upcoming weekend and going into Portland, it'll really only be the fourth or fifth time that I've been on track with him. But he's adapting very quickly and has a awesome attitude and has been a welcome addition to the team.
Last question here, because you're also kind of entering into this silly season mode, and I'm sure you're going to get a million questions from a million other people about this weekend. So my question for you is, plenty of moves during the season, obviously, and we know more are coming. Is there a additional pressure or some kind of brain fog when you have people kind of adding pressure on that, or, asking where you're going and if that's still a factor for you?
No, I've been doing this long enough that, you've been a part of enough silly seasons and such to understand, how that all works. I think that the big thing for all of us as racing drivers is you're only as good as your last race, right? Every time you get in the car, you have to prove yourself and you have to prove your value to the sport and to the teams that you're driving for and the brands you're representing. So that pressure always exists, whether you're in a contract year or not. And yeah, we'll have some good news to share soon, but it's certainly been a wild kind of couple months. I think it starts earlier and earlier every single year, and this year was no exception. And there's been some things that have even surprised me. Usually the drivers kind of know what's going on within that group. We all talk and everyone usually has a pretty good idea of what's happening. And I've woken up in the morning sometimes and been like, wow, that was a surprise. So it's been interesting, and I'm sure it's not anywhere close to over as well.
Feel like things are still just getting started here at this point in the season. Alexander Rossi heading to Gateway, and then he'll be with us for the BitNow Grand Prix of Portland. Thanks again, Alex.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely fantastic from the Grid Network team. Jackson Lambrose just acing every interview we put out there as well. We're around about 30 minutes away until the start lights go as well. The green flag will fall and we will be underway here. Alongside me in the commentary box will be Josh T as well. Down trackside, as I said, is Joe Sammiego and Jackson Lambrose for all of the interviews. Right, we're coming up then to the start with a few more minutes to go as well. Let's check in with Alex Palou, who has been an absolute star in the second half of this season as well. Been up and down massively, but he is now leading the World Championship for IndyCar as well. He's on 443 points, 59 clear to Colton Herta as well. He did a meet and greet in the centre of Portland. I guess who's our resident there? It's Joe Sammiego. Let's check in what he had to say with the championship leader.
From downtown Portland, standing outside 10 Barrel Brew and Joe Sammiego here, it is the big weekend for the BitNow.com Grand Prix of Portland. The reason why we're here, Alex Palou is at the meet and greet. He is the defending winner of the Grand Prix of Portland and, of course, the defending champion in the NTT IndyCar Series. We had the opportunity to sit down and talk to him about this upcoming weekend because we know if he gets his third Grand Prix of Portland win, he ties Al Unser Jr., Maka and Reddy, and potentially put one hand on his third championship. Here's what Alex Palou told us and the brewery. Joe here with Alex Palou. Alex, welcome back to Portland. How excited are you to be back here at the racetrack?
Yeah, so excited. I love this place. It's been a really great city for me in the past, in 2021 and also last year, winning the race and also the championship here. So yeah, excited to be back. A little bit sad that it's the last road course of the year, but I'm excited.
Now, your first time here, you came here, pretty much you started your route towards the championship. Last year, you claimed your championship right here at Portland. This year, people are saying, oh, this is your best opportunity because the last road course. Do you find that motivating or almost like in a way a little bit disrespectful, people thinking, oh, the ovals are almost like a disadvantage, but you've performed pretty well overall?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really pay much attention. I know what we have in front of us. For me, the best opportunity this weekend is obviously Portland. Not thinking at all in Milwaukee or Nashville. So yeah, all the efforts are focused purely into Portland, trying to win this race or scoring the best position that we can for both the championship and just the race itself. But yeah, I'm excited as well for the ovals. Obviously never won there, but I would say this year it's been pretty good for us. With Indy, we were I believe P5, second at Iowa, and then fourth last week at Milwaukee. So Gateway, sorry, got everything mixed up. But so yeah, just waiting and working on that win that hopefully you can get soon.
Now, a lot of ovals to the point where at the past people would say, oh, there's a lack of ovals, but now we got all these ovals towards the end. Do you feel like that sort of makes that balance a little bit more for the lack of ovals during the regular season, but towards the end you need to perform in those ovals for the championship?
Yeah, I mean, look, like every race counts the same points, so it doesn't really matter if we stack all at the beginning or at the end of the season. Obviously, I would say that we could have done a little bit better job on the calendar, but as well with Nashville turning from a street course to an oval race, kind of made everything a little bit oval at the end, right? So I know that for the future it's going to be different. We knew from the beginning that it was going to be like that, so we tried and do a little bit extra work at the beginning of the season to try and get to the last couple of races a little bit more relaxed.
Now, the first time we chatted a few years ago, you were coming to Portland. It was your first time, but you had Jimmy Johnson as a teammate, Scott Dixon. They gave you advice about your first championship. Now that Jimmy Johnson's no longer around, Scott Dixon, he's a little lower in the point stands. You're the points leader again. Do you feel like it's almost a different scenario where people are just seeing as you're the favorite compared to people questioning, like, can you get the job done? How has that dynamic changed?
Yeah, for sure it changed. Like in 2021, I was new on like fighting for a championship, winning races, and just getting to the end of the championship fight. So obviously, I needed extra help from my teammates, which at that time were amazing. Having Jimmy Johnson on the team, he gave me really good advices. As well as Scott, and he still does it till today, but at least now we already know that we're capable of winning championships, so we don't need to try and overthink how to do it. So I still rely a lot as much as possible on my teammates. I think it's a privilege to have Dixon as my teammate, one of the best, if not the best, IndyCar drivers that's ever been around. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully fighting for another one.
And the last question, with the hybrid power units, do you anticipate that's going to be a big change in this race? Because people are talking about sub 1 minute laps here now.
I would say it's obviously going to change a little bit that dynamic for the drivers and the teams on the ways that we need to work on the car, we need to drive the car, and we need to do so much work while we are on the car. But I don't think it's going to change at all the result on the show that we're able to put in. I think it's going to be an exciting race as we've had in the past years that we've been around.
Alex Palou, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your time in Portland, and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Now, for Alex Palou to claim the championship in Portland, that's not going to happen, really. Here's the deal. 50 points if you win the race. But starting with 25th position on back, 5 points. So right now, Alex Palou is going to take, he'll need essentially everyone to crash out, finish below, but he still cannot clinch the championship at Portland International Raceway. The other thing, too, there are bonus points. Points for leading the most lap, points for leading the lap, and clearing the pole, so 54 points max. But in reality, you can only gain 49 points if you're championship rival finishes last and you score the most points possible. So it's still very much a close championship between Alex Palou. You got Colton Herta in second place. A lot of people, pretty much, they did not see this coming. They just thought, okay, this first half of the year was a little bit quiet. That win at Toronto and then Gateway, plus the bad luck for Will Power and some of the other drivers, he now finds himself in a championship battle. We know Colton Herta likes Portland International Raceway, but so does Alex Palou. If anything, this is what I am anticipating from Alex Palou. He's going to just come here just like every other year at Portland. He's not going to change his approach. He's not going to be points racing. He's just going to go out there. He knows this track very well. He's very confident at this track. And like he said, if the things don't work out, if for some reason he has a top 10 finish but not a top 5, he still feels really good in the ovals going into Milwaukee and Nashville. So overall, Alex Palou is looking like he's trying to get himself in position to claim that championship, and he could do that at Portland this weekend. So overall, first day here at Portland, pretty quiet. The IndyCar teams, they were just unloading, but tomorrow the action's going to pick up. The action's going to pick up right here for us in the Grid Network. Jackson Lambros, he is coming out. He's flying in today. So he'll be joining me throughout the rest of the weekend, and we encourage you to join us by subscribing to the Grid Network right here on YouTube. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our programs, and of course, we'll be uploading TikToks and Shorts throughout the weekend on TikTok, Instagram, and across social media as well. Big thank you to everyone that have been investing in the Grid Network. Colin, Deshelle, Mark, Robin, David, Matthew, for investing in the Grid Network each and every month. You too could get your name on the Patreon list. And of course, super thanks, buy me a coffee and YouTube super chat when we're live on the air. We'll add you to the leaderboard for that as well. From beautiful downtown Portland, Joe Samaniego, see you next time.
And of course, the Grid Network, we're teaming up. We're all part of the same brand, of course. We all work together to bring you the best motorsport action. 17 minutes until the command is given as well for engines to start here. Josh T is just making his way, hopefully soon, to the commentary box as well. The date, I can tell you, it is beautiful sunshine here in Portland, Oregon. So we're all set for what's going to be a fantastic weekend. Joe Samaniego and Jackson Lambros are trackside for us as well. And we heard just after qualifying what they had to say, including hearing from our pole sitter, because yes, he's been in so much controversy this season as well, especially with Romain Grosjean and Colton Herta. He's been wanting to fight everybody. Santino Ferrucci may be a very, very controversial character in motorsport, but nobody can deny that yesterday he was fast. Let's check in with what he had to say and join Jackson once again for the qualifying report.
Almost half a decade, 73 races in the making. Santino Ferrucci on pole position here at Portland International Raceway. I don't think any of us here expected it, but that's the kind of weirdness that this town and this track can bring. Welcome back from Outlap Media. It's Jackson Lambros here to recap this whole day of action here at the final road course round of the 2014 NTT Data IndyCar Series. Frankly, a rather eventless initial practice session, a couple of small offs, but nothing crazy. This is a track that we've seen drivers testing the limits, as we talked about with Joe earlier, but it's really been more of just games of inches. And somehow, some way, Santino Ferrucci, who mind you was incredibly quiet in the opening stages of qualifying, managed to bump Joseph Newgarden into the Fast Six, was one of the slowest guys in that final 6 entries. And out of nowhere, when it seemed like Palou was the man to beat on track, was the fastest, getting his first ever NTT Data Pole Award. Let's hear from him trackside, or should I say pit side, Santino Ferrucci. Congrats, boss. Thank you. Santino, I think the people behind you just kind of described the emotions you're probably feeling right now.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, what an incredible day. I mean, to have a pole for my first of my career in IndyCar, and first in a while for the team, just coming into this road course of all places too, it's been incredible, and we're just super stoked and can't wait to see what tomorrow brings.
It's been a game of inches and milliseconds this whole weekend so far for lap time. What do you think was the X factor to get yourself here?
You know, we've been so good in race pace and used tires. I knew that if we had enough to squeak it into the 6, that a used tire run for us would be really good. And, you know, we were able to do that, and here we are.
Let's rewind the clock real quick to 2018. There's a young kid coming over from Europe to finally give IndyCar racing a try on the streets of Detroit. Right now, what would you say to that kid?
Don't give up on the dream, man. I mean, it took a long time to get here, and it's the happiest I've ever been in my life, and this has got to be one of the biggest accomplishments to my career to date.
For the first time, Santino Ferrucci on pole position. Obviously, a long time coming for not only Santino Ferrucci, but for AJ Foyt Enterprises, which outside of the 500, and a fantastic effort at the 500 from them as always, but have been struggling, especially at the road courses. So when you see this amazing, amazing performance that we haven't seen since maybe Takuma Sato at Long Beach in 2014, where is this coming from? And the simple answer might be this team right here, Team Penske, of course, now in a technical alliance with AJ Foyt this year. Now they're on the short side of that with Will Power starting on the outside of row 1. And when you think of a guy who's always fast on Sundays, or excuse me, fast on Saturdays, it's almost always Will Power, and manages to just barely lose out to the young kid from Woodbury, Connecticut. So let's hear from the Toowoomba, Australia native starting outside of row 1, Will Power. Will Power filling out the front row. Felt like this whole weekend it's been a matter of inches for qualifying and for lap time in general. Talk to me about what might have been missing there.
A little mistake out of 12, that was it. But I mean, that would have only about equaled his time, to be honest. I mean, he did a bloody good lap, so it was going to be tough to beat him for pole. But stoked to get through the fast 6 and then get on the front row. Certainly the further up you are, the better chance you have of avoiding a bit of a mess in the first turn. Ultimately, you just got to keep finishing ahead of Palou. That's the goal. So we'll see how tomorrow plays out.
Still high spirits for tomorrow in the championship going forward?
Yeah, you never know what can happen, man. Like, if you just keep finishing on the podium here to the end, I mean, ultimately, if you look at it, it's almost a quarter of the races left. You know, 17 races, 4 races left. Like, it's almost a quarter. It's a little less than a quarter. So that's a lot of points available. We'll see what happens.
Will Power alongside Santino Ferrucci tomorrow. Obviously, some fighting words from Will Power saying, hey, I'm down in the count, but I'm not out from this championship fight for Alex Palou, who, by the way, is still very much in a prime position, even though he almost crashed during qualifying, is still just a few spots behind. And would like to remind you, for championship picture, this is not something that's impossible to achieve for Will Power. Dario Franchitti was 57 points behind and was able to actually overcome that and win the championship. And I believe 2008, Joe can verify that for me. But a couple of new faces that we haven't seen for a while in the Fast 6. Obviously, Santino Ferrucci, fantastic job from him. Same for Graham Rahal, great pace out of that 15 RLL car. But with that being said, Scott McLaughlin, who we thought was fast this entire weekend so far, just did not show up for pace when it came to going fast during qualifying and starting back in 15th. Same could be said for all of the Aero McLaren cars. None of them in the Fast 12. Pato Ward all the way back from outside the top 20. And the best part is, frankly, none of us know what this could mean towards the race. This is such a chaotic race, especially when you think about turn 1 and seeing past winners, Takuma Sato getting a win here. Anything and everything is possible when it comes to race day tomorrow, and we will be with you every step of the way. We'll see you tomorrow for the post-race show and for reactions from myself and Joe, and maybe a couple of guests. Hunter McElroy might be joining us, we'll see. But until then, for IndyCar and for all things NASCAR, WRC, F1, all things motor racing, stay to the grid.
Let's join trackside for the commands.
Personnel and these great fans, that we would have an exciting but safe day of racing. But most of all, we say thank you for the hope and love available to all through the cross of Jesus Christ, in whose name I pray. Amen.
And here to honor America with the singing of our national anthem is Master Sergeant Cassandra Patterson of the 173rd Fighter Wing, Oregon National Guard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Absolutely fantastic atmosphere around here at the Grand Prix of Portland. Let's remind ourselves then of how the championship looks. We saw Joe Samaniego talking to us earlier on about it as well. Alex Palou leads. He's on 443 points as well. Colton Herta takes it on 384. He's 59 points back as well. But with so many on offer, it's actually Joseph Newgarden that takes it down the bottom. Let's head down to Dylan Welch in the pits.
With two cars who have finished second here at Portland before. Alexander Rossi with Arrow McLaren starts 17th, and he's the best qualified of the three McLaren cars. Felt like they were really good off the truck and just lost pace in qualifying, not sure why. So Rossi is one to watch as he comes from deep in the field. Next to him is Felix Rosenqvist, who finished second here last year. Another team that has been really strong this weekend, just couldn't put it together in qualifying. Felix has been fast all year long, and as we said, second last year, so he knows his way around this racetrack and will be fun to watch coming from a little deeper in the field. Behind them, in row number 10, you have Toby Sowery, who makes his third start of the year in the Dale Coyne Racing number 51, and Scott McLaughlin, who's a former pole sitter and a former winner here at this racetrack. Another driver who just said yesterday in qualifying, we frankly didn't put it together. The car has been really fast and just got caught out by a couple things on his qualifying laps that have them starting way deeper in the field and going to have to do some fun things with strategy to get the three car and the Thirsty Threes back at the front of the field. Behind them, back to row 11, you've got two more cars. Linus Lundqvist, who finished third for the second time this year, last weekend at Worldwide Technology Raceway. He's the leader in the Rookie of the Year standings. And Pato Award starts next to him all the way back in 22nd, the second of the Arrow McLaren cars in this field. And they start on the alternate red tires. They're going to have to do some things different on strategy as well. That's why they're starting on those red tires. So watch for the 5 to move forward early. Georgia is closer to the front of the field with some more stories.
I am closer to the front of the field. I've positioned myself at rows 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to start with Colton Herta. He's second in points, 59 points behind Alex Palou. In his 5 starts here, he's never started outside of the top 10. He's only finished outside of the top 10 once. And he's hungry for a win. He has to be aggressive, and he has to win if he wants to gain on the number 10 of Alex Palou. Starting right behind him, that is third in the championship points of Scott Dixon. He's never won here at Portland International Raceway, but he says he has a strong car, and the 9 is going to be even stronger on those long green flag runs. So Dixon hungry for a win and to make gains in that championship run as well. Marcus Ericsson starts next to him. He's looking for his first win of the year, and his Andretti teammate Kyle Kirkwood also looking for his first win of the year. Kyle said he feels all right, nothing more, nothing less, but he's looking to go forward. And then Graham Rahal, he sat on the pole just a year ago. He is hungry for a win. We have to remember that he qualified 6th, but had a 6th position engine penalty. That's going to put him in the 12th spot. But he said the car is fast, he has the speed for top 6, and we'll see what he can do. Guys?
Yeah, thank you very much, Georgia and Dylan down there as well on NBC. We'll be hearing them throughout the race. About 6 minutes to go until the command is given. JT is getting himself ready and standing by in the comms box. We'll hear from him in just a second. Let's take a quick look at the remaining races in the IndyCar season. Of course, today we've got the BitNow.com Grand Prix of Portland. But in a week's time, it's the double-header. This is the last road course race on the calendar, so it takes us here. Then we go to the Milwaukee Mile. Hy-Vee again sponsoring the event, a double-header race. Race 1, 11 o'clock UK time. That's going to be on August 31st. 7:30 p.m. on September the 1st on the Sunday race for number 2. Then a 2-week break before the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, which has now also been reaffirmed as the Nashville 500. So the tension is rising out here. We can't wait to get started for the Grand Prix of Portland. And I'm going to welcome up to the commentary box for the first time today, Josh T, who is standing by. And JT, the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic. The tension is rising. And the Grand Prix of Portland, once again, I think it's going to be an absolutely fantastic race. Live on Grid Network, JBMotorsports, and on USON, we're across the board. And I think this is the big one. Last road course race, a lot of points on the board. 4 races to go. It all starts here for the championship.
Yeah, that is probably the most insane thing to say in an IndyCar season, that this is the last road course event on the 4th race to go, and the next 3 races after this are all ovals to round out the season. That's quite an insane thing to say. But it's going to make this season finish in a big way, I do think. But of course, people who have advantage in the road courses, who are used to being a road course finish and able to get good points at the last, they may struggle going into a triple oval to round it out.
Now, you weren't with us in the qualifying yesterday because you were sleeping, ready for NASCAR, which everybody should have normally been doing. But Santino Ferrucci on pole position, a problematic driver in Europe, a problematic driver this season, but he was fast yesterday. You can't deny he's quick and he stands a chance of winning.
Yeah, he is quick, and he does stand a chance of winning from pole, but I'm going to say it, Santino Ferrucci has this thing of doing Santino Ferrucci things.
Yes, he does. And I don't think he's going to be in the position where he's going to win overly quickly coming into it also as well. So we will be preparing shortly to get all the information. Let's take a look at how they line up on the starting grid, though. We've got that ability on our timing screens up here in the commentary box. Hopefully it hasn't just frozen us. There we go. A little bit of encoding overloading on OBS, but that's how it always works. There's always a few technical gremlins before the race starts as well. So it is Santino Ferrucci on pole position. Will Powers alongside him on the front row. Then it's Alex Palou, Christian Lundgaard, Joseph Newgarden, Romain Grosjean, Marcus Armstrong, Colton Herta, Scott Dixon. Then we get in as well with Marcus Ericsson, Kyle Kirkwood, Graham Rahal, Pietro Fittipaldi, Venus VK in there as well, followed by Yuri Vips, Christian Rasmussen, Alexander Rossi, Felix Rosenquist, Toby Sowery, Scott McLaughlin, Linus Lundqvist, Pato O'Ward, Nolan Siegel, Stingray Robb, David Malukas, Connor Daly, Jack Harvey and Kiffin Simpson at the back of the field as well. Grosjean higher up as well on the grid as well today. He stands a chance, but I don't really think you can count out the McLarens. They've looked quick here this weekend, and Colton Herta's, 2 of the last 4 races? He too's getting back into it.
Yeah, they have looked quick, the McLarens, but also, as you said, Colton Herta getting back into it, which makes this race and the end of the season a little bit more exciting and interesting. But I believe we're getting ready in a couple of minutes to fire the engines.
We are indeed. So the announcement for the command is about to be given as well. The drivers are sitting in their car. They're all ready to go. I know many people are joining us trackside for this one as well. The promotion's been fantastic. Pleasure to have you along for the coverage here. You'll be able to see all the timing and driver tracker and radio commentary, and also all the team radios and all of the track noise. Let's head trackside to NBC.
Final time of the season. It's road course racing for IndyCar. After this, 3 to go, finishing up on ovals. It's the BitNile.com Grand Prix from Portland International Raceway, and that chicane, which is turn 1, is lurking, and it has often presented chaos. And it includes some of the people sitting next to me. Kevin Lee, Townsend Bell, James Hinchcliffe. Hinch, you took center stage in this one back in 18.
Yeah, not one you're happy to be a part of. Marco Andretti up and over. But as Townsend alluded to at the top of the show, this is where Scott Dixon pulled off one of the most impressive saves, not just of a race, but of a championship.
Back in 2021, I mean, let's face it, this place is like the movie War Dogs. 50-50 chance of making out of it unscathed. Grosjean there ping-ponging off a few cars as we ride on board out the tail. I think that was Callum Eilert back in the day, involved in the destruction that is possible. And for so many of the championship competitors, they know there's opportunity and consequences depending on how the circumstances favor you or hurt you down in turn 1.
This is our only trip to the Pacific Northwest. Back in the Midwest coming up next weekend. Fans have been clamoring for a return to Milwaukee. We've got it. We've got it twice. Peacock exclusive next Saturday, USA and Peacock on Sunday, and then the championship is also on an oval, 1.25 miles concrete at the Nashville Super Speedway. Join us for the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix on September 15th. So there is still much to play for with 4 races to go and many uncertainties.
Okay, let's get trackside and get this party started. The command is about to be given.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command for the BitNile.com Grand Prix of Portland, BitNile.com Executive Chairman Todd Alt.
Thank you, Portland fans, for being here. This is the greatest racing in the world. The difference between 1st and 27th is under 1 second. Everyone join BitNile.com, and we're giving away 50,000 coins per
Just
day
get it started.
to everyone that joins. Thank you so much for Portland. Thank you for being here.
Drivers, start your engines!
It's a beautiful day.
Atmosphere rising, tension rising. They could have really got that one started a bit sooner, but we'll let it slide and keep it going. Into the battle screen we come then, ready to go for this one, and I think JT, the atmosphere is building, the tension is rising. Everybody knows we're going to be in for one of the best races on the entire calendar, because it's something just always delivers here in every single year we race.
Yeah, atmosphere rising. One place the atmosphere definitely isn't rising is at the front of the pit road where the command was, because that was a little bit underwhelming. I think we can all agree on that, and it took a little bit too long. Joseph Newgarden, who starts 5th, of course, you have to remember, keep an eye on him as Palou, but Portland, it's always a great race, and you have to get that 1 year, Josh.
Oh, I know. It's always due to financing. It's £1,000 for the tickets, so it does take a lot. But we will get there one day. I promise everybody. We will. As the drivers actually heading off on pit lane, by the way, so they're already firing up. We're already leaving 2 by 2, as you can see on the driver tracker. By the way, it's taken me 15 rounds of the season, JT, to work something out.
Go on.
I could put the visor completely on the top monitor, and that's going to be working fine, no glitches and nothing. I can put the timing 71 on the bottom monitor, and instead of full screening OBS, I can stretch it out, but it's not in full screen, so that still runs. And everything on the computer runs smoothly now. It's taken me 15 races to work that out across the space of 6 months. I feel like a fool, but at least everything's now working for the driver tracker, for once. But knowing me, it'll go off during the race, and here's me going, ooh! So, but we have backups. Okay, who do you think's going to take victory then? Who's your pick a winner as they head out onto the circuit for 110 laps of this one?
I've got the number 10 of Palou, but it could also be anyone in the top 10, even top 28, because it's Portland and it's chaotic.
Anything can happen in Portland, and it usually does, doesn't it, as well? Let's check in with our Sky F1 commentator, Tom Gaymore.
So expect teams to run 2 sets of new sticker reds, and then as the race unfolds, it's going to be a case of live data. The teams are going to react on the bounce. We've seen that across the course of the season, so that's something to play out, and we will keep an eye on that. The top 4 start on the blacks. 5th and 6th place, Joseph Newgarden and Romain Grosjean start on the red. So look out for them over the opening lap or 2.
Thanks very much, Tom. We're under the starting orders then for the Grand Prix of Portland. Adam says that the picker winner is Alex Palou.
Part of the midseason with all his hate. James, help me reveal this. The hate cauldron.
People driving like that. Idiots.
Yeah, the hate cauldron basically on NBC was who's going to crash and who's going to cause some drama, JT. I think that's exactly what we need today. Who's going to shake it up, who's going to bring the drama, and who's going to bring the action. Last time out at Bob Morado, Automotive Group 500, everything just went up to 11, didn't it? It was a fantastic race, shook the championship up, and now here in Portland, it could be either very good or very bad. That's how it can always go. There's never an in-between, is there, at Portland?
No, there is never an in-between here at Portland, and, well, definitely got a little bit heated, and well, it was with Will Power, who was very, very delighted with his teammate. Let's point that out.
The middle finger coming.
Yeah, and well, how we all wished to be a fly on the wall.
I know. Didn't I say I wanted like the entire front row, and I'd bring the popcorn or something along those.
So that we could all lay down.
Yeah. We needed to lay down after that one as well. The shelter chicane coming up. This is the Portland International Raceway then in Portland, Oregon. A total of just 12 corners. The shelter chicane is the first two on the circuit. Then it's rising. 4-5, sort of in a double right hairpin. Opened up. 6 tightens on the left before a quick kink in turn 7. Opens up down to 8, which is the back straightaway. 9, 10, and 11 and 12. The last complex on the circuit. A chicane 9 and 10. 11 can easily break, lock up, go straight off into the wall. And turn 12 is just a flat accelerator as well. That's going to be the problem as they come to the starting grid. As I said earlier on, alternative tyres coming for Newgarden, Grosjean, Kirkwood, Fittipaldi, Sowery, Lundqvist and O'Ward. We're coming to the green flag, JT, as the Honda pace car is going to speed away. Ferrucci's never done this before. He's leading us to a green, and he has got to make it safe with Power alongside him, otherwise Power will jump him and he'll be gone.
Yeah, and Palou is behind, and we know that Palou can be a little bit aggressive on the start. But down towards turn 1, anything can happen here at Portland. We could have 5 wide, cars going everywhere.
The BitNile Grand Prix of Portland is about to get underway. 4 races left in the season. It's our last road course race. Ferrucci's jumped the start, but it's green flag. We're running. And look at Will Power to the inside line. We're 3 abreast further back with Dixon. Battling on the inside as well with Ericsson. Side by side. Power's got the jump. He gets round the outside. Ferrucci tags the front wheel. That's going to allow Alex Palou to try and come round the outside. Not working through. Dixon making the move on Marcus Armstrong further back. They all get through cleanly, and that's Colton Herta down into 5th position. Grosjean's moved up too. Dixon though having the start, and there, as I said, the Tommy Tower going.
Yep, and I think I actually saw Joe on the exit of on the outside of turn 1. If that is a move, I believe Kyle Kirkwood going up the inside of Dixon.
Dixon's off the road. Dixon's off the road. That's coming out of lane 9. They've got to be very careful for this part of the track. Contact! Dixon's broken front wheel! And Dixon's in the wall! Dixon out before the race is even completed. 1 lap. Scott Dixon brings out the caution, and a major championship contender is in the wall already. Wow! Well, that's completely thrown the championship up in the wall.
He was hit off by someone.
Who was alongside him coming through? Is it Marcus Armstrong or Kyle Kirkwood? They were the 2 alongside.
Kyle Kirkwood was ahead because he was involved in the first incident.
Well, 9 times out of 10 you have contact. Let's bring it in now as well with our driver tracker back up. Scott, let's take a replay. So Dixon is alongside. Who's he getting softer by? There's goes Armstrong. It's a McLaren. Contact. It's the 30. It's Pietro Fittipaldi. Pietro Fittipaldi touching the side of the 9 of Scott Dixon, sending him into the barrier at turn 9. Caution comes out on lap 1. So Power leads Ferrucci, Palou, Grosjean, Lundgaard, the top 5. Herta, Newgarden, Kirkwood, Armstrong, and Ericsson. That's your top 10, JT. What a start to the BitNile Grand Prix of Portland.
Yeah, and a chaotic start indeed, and that is Scott Dixon out, which, as you say, throws the championship wide open.
Before even 1 has been completed. That is insane. I want to take a look at points as they run then to see what that's going to do to it on our timing screen. It's not here. Here we go, points as they run. If we go to the full screen at the moment, so Dixon's going to drop to 4th place in the championship. Already minus 95 points back, JT. So already this is a major problem coming up.
Yeah, and then 3 ovals coming up next, of course, for Scott Dixon. And it's kind of touch and go, isn't it? With ovals for Scott Dixon.
I got just told red 5 on my control monitor up here in the commentary box. Don't know where that's come from. at the moment. But yeah, 85. Let's go over to Tom Gaymore.
In terms of his points lead, he can't necessarily win it at Milwaukee if someone else gets a big points haul here. If everyone else wasn't to score and he was to score big, then he's in a very good position heading to the doubleheader at Milwaukee next weekend. But as it stands, he is there just behind Will Power as we see a whole host of cars trundling down.
Simpson, Harvey, Daly, Siegel and Lundqvist down on pit road under the yellow. That's to try and benefit from, I think, JT, and it's a good call to bring them into the pit lane.
Yeah, so they exit pit lane now, down in towards turn 1, and then up towards turn 2 and 3, where on the inside you can actually still see the ABB sponsorship from Formula E. You can still see it, just the grass is a different colour because it was covered for quite a bit.
So we are under yellow on lap 1. We'll have to restart this then. Getting into the chat here on YouTube. Rec right in front of me says C card as well. Jess can't believe it. Tico, you beauty, says Rob Brown as well as they come through. So yeah, not the best situation at the moment as we come back. I wonder what's going to happen on the running order as well as Dixon's car is pulled away. Front left suspension is gone. Dixon out of the race then here. JT, what do you think then? Championship-wise, many people saying he wasn't going to win the championship anyway. I still think there's a possibility it could be inside it because you never count out Dixon.
Yeah, I think he'll still be inside it. Whether he wins it is a different story, but if he's not in it, that removes one person and makes it easier the tiniest bit for others. Let's have a look at the start once again.
Yeah, so Power moves to the inside line. Ferrucci jumped it massively coming out the last corner. And then Scott Dixon makes up 3 positions into 1. He touches the side of Armstrong. And then I was looking at the front because we nearly had Ferrucci out with Power. Yeah, that took a long time for it to come through. They would have wrecked on the chicane, but I didn't buy those seats this year. Well, there were 5 wide coming into the Shelton chicane. Jackson Lambros and Joe Sammiego are standing right there on the TV screen. That's going to be filming our new intro for 2025, if you're wondering what they're doing there, by the way. So, yeah, that's where they are. The waiting game continues. Such a strange runaround at the moment on the circuit. You didn't expect that to happen. And Dixon flies off into the barrier after contact with the 30 as well on the track of Pietro Fittipaldi. Let's take another look at it, JT, from the off-board angle. So he gets forced wide by Grosjean, and then Fittipaldi doesn't know where to go and jumps over the curb and hits him off. Rossi was lucky there actually not to get taken out as well.
Yeah, Rossi was very lucky to not get taken away there, and you just see cars on the racing line and there's a spinning Dixon out of the way and a lot of avoidance, multiple cars, and straight off into the barrier Dixon goes, and not the hardest hit we've seen there, but not the lightest hit that we've seen there.
Nothing, man. I did nothing wrong. He put me to the curb. What do you want me to do? Copy. We were just talking about it here, what the scenarios were. Everything's fine right now.
So everything working fine right now. Apparently my power bank's gone missing, which is always a delight to have just before a commentary. And I love how she remembers it as well, a day before she goes away so it won't be charged. And also, she had it last. Coming back to green flag running then. Also, I asked for a drink so we couldn't leave the box. And yeah, distractions. Coming back then to green flag running here for the Grand Prix of Portland. Power will lead Ferrucci as well out of turn 12. Second time of asking with 110 laps. We go green again in Portland. Down towards turn number 1. And already having to go defensive further back in the field. Kyle Kirkwood trying to go around the outside of Joseph Newgarden. Hasn't worked out. Newgarden just late on the accelerator. Kirkwood's right there to capitalise. Armstrong too, trying to come back alongside. But Power has the lead of the race as they come through. So lap 6 of 110. And now the field will calm down. Watch for Palou though, JT, because he's going to be trying to get past Ferrucci to catch Power. Power's also a threat in this championship still. Oh, and a penalty for contact, Pietro Fittipaldi. Well, where is he supposed to go?
Yeah.
Again, another bad decision.
Have a look at it.
I don't agree with that. Where is he supposed to go? That's a racing incident in my book, JT.
They wanting Pietro Fittipaldi to get on the brake slot behind him instead of jumping over the curb or something. Oh, that's out towards the pit wall.
Herta down to the inside line and makes the move on Lundgaard into turn 1 of the chicane. Brilliantly done. Although I did think that Lundgaard might throw himself off into it sideways. Couldn't find it as well to keep on the attack. But I tell you what, JT, Herta's making a move on this one.
Yeah, keep an eye on him. He's currently up to 5th place. Of course, not the best qualifying for Colton Herta yesterday. And Grosjean in 4th, still good to see. Palou still in 3rd. That's where he started, and the top 2 have switched, so Power in front of Ferrucci. Just a couple of changes.
Joseph Allen says he's lost Power at home and can't watch the race. Thanks, guys. Pleasure to help you as they come through. Power leads. Palou's got the fastest lap of the race, though, so far on a 1:05.70. And in terms of best speed, that's 116.731 mile an hour across the start line. But he's now closing in on Santino Ferrucci as well. And down the inside, he's got him into the first corner. Palou up to 2nd position. Ferrucci couldn't fight that one. So now the 1-2 is Power and Palou. Penske versus Chip Ganassi.
Good move from Palou, late on the brakes in towards turn 1, and he's done that so many times.
Yeah.
He's become an expert at it, and depending on how he does it, well, you can't stop him. Palou, points as they run, 483. Power's 53 points back. Herta's 69 points back. McLaughlin is 98 points back. And then the number 9 of Dixon is 100 points back.
Let's take a replay of the lunge into turn 1. It was a simple move up the inside, JT.
She couldn't do anything about that.
No, it was too late of a lunge. Palou likes those. He does them on the ovals a lot as well, doesn't he?
He does, yes.
So lap times are about a minute, which is going to take about 110 minutes. So just shy of 2 hours to complete this race, barring cautions. It's always a long one. So stay with us, but it is always fun. That's always what we like here in Portland. It's our 4th year covering this event. Scott Dixon's down the pits.
And then second, can you walk us through the incident?
Yeah, totally fine. Yeah, the 27, I think, caused all of that mayhem, to be honest. Just did a lunge and then gave me 0 room on the exit, which knocked me off, and then you're trying to recover. And obviously, I think with, Fittipaldi, honestly, getting the penalty there, kind of no real fault with him. It was just the funnels there. But the penalty should have been on the 27.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Georgia. So, yeah, this is going to be very entertaining action, isn't it, at the moment? This is Dixon's on board again, JT. Why not a penalty for Rossi then as well? If you go it all in. Because Rossi was detrimental because he couldn't back off because Fittipaldi couldn't lift off for it. So it just doesn't make sense as Dixon's car's back in the garage.
Yeah, look at the left of that car. That's going to need a bit of repairing before Milwaukee doubleheader next weekend. And Hy-Vee have a thing with sponsoring doubleheader weekends at an oval. It seems like. Whereas I've just noticed this is how much, even though I've done practice sessions this weekend, this is how much I've been paying attention. Jury Vips is in the 75 this weekend.
Yeah, did you know?
No.
Vip's taking on his first...
I think I saw something about it on Twitter, but I just read over it.
Now, usually JT is the one who's behind on the weekend of IndyCar, not me. But this is how it's been this weekend. We've just been flying around 24/7 trying to make things work. Lap 10 of 110, 100 to go. Power leads from Palou, Ferrucci, Grosjean, Herta your top 5. Kirkwood, Lundgaard, Newgarden, Armstrong and Ericsson has your top 10 at the moment in this race. We're live on JB Motorsports, YouTube and Twitch. We're live on the Grid Network. We're live on USON as well. A complete trio of all our networks for the Grand Prix of Portland, the Grid Network's home event as well. Josh Birch and Josh T up in the comms box with you as well. Down trackside, Joe Samaniego and Jackson Lambrose as well. Jackson will be back with us in the comms box next week for the final 3 races as well. And he was really happy that, by the way, he was flying over to Portland. He wasn't with us last week as well because he was out prepping for this week. So ergo, he was buying some luggage.
Well, yeah, let's just say it's been a little bit busy, which is why I've not been having kept updated. This is what happened with Santino Ferrucci at Barber and all the different bits of contact that he's had with the 77 car, the 14 versus 77. They went through a phase, didn't they?
Again and again and again, and the reason they are bringing this up, and they got fisticuffs as well at one point of the year, is because if you take a look at what they are right now, Ferrucci's 3rd and Grosjean's 4th, and they're separated by less than a tenth of a second. And these two have been coming together all season long. They hate each other. It's very safe to say.
And Santino Ferrucci and Carl Kirkwood have been coming together a couple of times, and that's where the fisticuffs came out. That Ferrucci's currently 3rd, and then around 3 seconds back is Carl Kirkwood, so a little bit of way to go there. But yeah, if you want to know why I wasn't on the touring car broadcast today, it's race 3 I was able to just squeeze in. I was on the outside of a small oval in the middle of Aldershot in the UK, watching vans deliberately crash into each other and having vans charging at me into the dust on the outside wall. And because I was up against the cat's fencing because of how the circuit is with the camcorder, let's just say I'm still very dusty and I had to keep turning my head to not get dust in my eyes.
So you've got a bit of a gravelly voice as well, you could say.
I see what you did there.
Everybody always says about my voice being gravelly sometimes as well. Yeah, if it goes down. That's because I commentate a lot. Sometimes it's not, but if I'm talking normally, it goes gravelly. So,
it's fine tomorrow. It's definitely not like they're putting Reliant Robins on a figure of 8 oval, and
I can't wait for that.
If they wrecked a lamppost with 1 caravan and they're putting 12 caravans on the circuit at once, what could go wrong? And yes, I am sending a video. Many.
Yes. They'll be on the JB Motorsports members page as well if you want to see caravans as well.
Soon it'll be on the members. I'm so backlogged with other editing stuff.
Oh, believe me,
it is definitely on the list.
So much on there as well. Top-notch racing, Josh, as well, Brand. It really is top-notch racing, isn't it? This is beginning to get calm as Alexander Rossi is coming to the pit lane. So has David Malukas. So they've made a pit stop very early. That'll be for fuel. So they would have started this race earlier, and now we're going to top up with some fuel. Can't see why they wouldn't at the moment.
So 2 cars coming in, as you mentioned. Rossi, Malukas, and they are alternate strategy from there. And you can just see on the left-hand side, it went behind the leaderboard, the ABB that I mentioned.
Yes, I saw it,
as well.
Considering we don't come here anymore to Portland for Formula E, which I absolutely hate because it was some great racing. I'm surprised they've still kept it out there. They haven't changed it all up, but yeah,
it's because of the covering, the red covering that they used. The grass on the grass that wasn't covered got more sunlight than the grass that was covered, so it changed the colour of the grass, which is why you can still see it.
Or bleached. Basically, if you dye your hair blonde and then try and dye it red, it won't work at all. I think that's the way it is. Is it brown? I can't remember. Somewhere in
I think they used tarpaulin or covering for the one.
Yes, I can see
over there, though.
I can see it on the helicam as you come back to NBC. Hello, Amy. Watching on in the YouTube chat. Welcome back
and
to
in the Discord. Hello, Amy.
Is he there? Oh, he is. Hello. Welcome back to everyone watching on USA Network over there in the States, whether you're trackside listening to us as well, if you're on JB Motorsports, Grid Network, or USON. Well, lap 15 of 110 of the Bitnar Grand Prix of Portland. Who was that who just cut the chicane? I can't see from the top angle. Was it Rasmussen in the 20 car? Someone cut the chicane there by going straight on, but we were on the heli cam. Couldn't see who it was. 45 and the 75 are together. And there was Rasmussen putting it off. So, here we go. Who goes straight on down at turn 1? 45 locks up, goes straight on as Christian Lundgaard and had to take the evasive action, so it was Lundgaard.
Lundgaard, was that the one you saw, or was there another one?
It could be another, but because it looked like straight to me. Lundgaard locks up at the first entry, cuts the course and has to go over the bollards, and this is where it rejoins. So yes, I think it was Lundgaard as we ride with him again
so
down to
many
Shelton.
different paths that you can take on the escape road in the middle of the chicane, and they've all purposely made the escape road chicanes in a way where if you go off at this point you can still join it, but if you go off at that point you can do it. Which makes there's no excuse for not doing the escape road.
And I think that's the best way to do it, because there's always a way to do it, so you have to do it. Linus Lundqvist has stopped. He's put on primary tyres, but he has dropped down into 25th position at the moment, so he's circulating completely on his own. And the car it looks okay, but it sounds a little bit sickly out there. So we'll keep an eye out whether or not that's going to be a problem later on in the race. As we take a look at it now for Chip Ganassi Racing, sliding, coming out of turn 7, through 8, and then down through the King Straight to turn 9.
Down towards, and here is a replay, and this is at the final complex, and that was Linus Lundqvist going for a ride.
That's why the camera panned down to him coming out. I was wondering where we were looking. He'd come off from the drag strip area here at Portland International Raceway. So Linus Lundqvist, that's why he's dropped down the order. He's gone off straight at turn 10 for 11, like we saw Power do, and yesterday in qualifying Palou do as well. Palou got so lucky, by the way, yesterday in qualifying.
Yep. There's so many different types of motorsports that you can do here at Portland International Raceway.
Even golf.
There's so much. It is a true motorsports park.
You can even do fly fishing, and you can even do magnet fishing in the lakes just alongside. It's fantastic, this place. A true cathedral of motorsport. As we're on board with Carl Kirkwood, he's running in 6th position. He's closing in on Colton Herter. The gap is about a second, actually, according to the dyno monitors that we're looking at here. So they're going to hold it running together. Of course,
I wonder if anyone's found any debris.
No, I wondered that as well. I was just thinking
in the magnet fishing.
Would carbon fibre magnetise? Is carbon fibre magnetic?
There's way more than carbon fibre though. I don't think carbon fibre doesn't magnetise from what I can remember, but there's so many other stuff.
If it's covered in velvet, it won't work anyway.
Yeah.
Throw back to the Top Gear episode. One of my favourites, that one. That was fantastic, the police car one.
You mean the one that you... Wait, no. You sent me one, and then I had a look on that page, and I saw another one. But I don't think I sent it back to you.
Oh, I don't know. The one where they ran raid Woolworths and all that lot. They got the Pikes Peak and all that lot. It's fantastic.
I'll send it to you. Hold on.
Do you remember the one where they're wearing moustaches? As into the pit lane comes Pato O'Ward. Yeah, that one. That's one of my favourites. Anyway,
did you send that to me, or did I find that one?
I think we might have done both, actually. I think I've sent you something before. Anyway, into the pit lane comes Venus VK. Gets on a sticker red set of tyres. Primaries, though, going on for Pato O'Ward, coming off of sticker reds. New aero screen cover as well. Twist to the front wing. Down he goes. A lot of fuel going in that car, actually, as well. Gets out ahead of everyone who's coming to the pit lane first. So the undercut working. Okay, JT sent me the Instagram. Let's see if it is the one we're both thinking of. Yes, JT, that's the one. Yeah, who sent who?
Yeah, so you sent me the Jesus one.
Oh yeah, the Italian Jesus.
For Giovinazzi.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you now.
And then that one was like the one after it, I think.
Yeah, side by side, as that's VK trying to hold off from the 66 as well of Malukas. This is over 25th and 26th position. Malukas has got much hotter tyres compared to VK, and it should be an easy move with the sticker reds that are up to temperature. VK's going to try and keep it side by side though. Down towards turn 11, hasn't worked out. Malukas goes through. Very nicely done. So Kevin Simpson's coming into the pit lane as well. Yeah, JT, that one. And then the Italian Jesus sponsor of the day. The JBMotorsports team just sends each other random things.
was going to tell you, but I forgot, as I had to dash off after race 3, but there was a Peugeot van at the racing today. It had, in massive bold letters across the side of it, Maniac.
Yeah, we need to do one of those events. That'd be fun. Crashing would be fun. Kirkwood, Vips and Rosencrest come into the pit lane as we follow the 27 then. Takes off a set of red tyres, puts on a brand new sticker set of reds. Front change, winglets as well adjusted. A lot of fuel going in and out it goes. Vips in 2 for his first pit stop in IndyCar at racing speeds. This should be quite fun. Yuri Vips officially an IndyCar driver now as well. So that means we've got Yuri Vips and Santino Ferrucci. IndyCar a home for Formula 2 drivers that have been banned for racial slurs. Surprising, isn't it? If I had £1, or sorry, American dollar, if I had $1 for every time that happened, I'd have $2, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Ferrucci in 3rd position.
There you go, I've sent it in Manager's channel.
To be fair, if James Hinchcliffe can get away with hating on Santino Ferrucci in the commentary box and then get annoyed by... he does it deliberately. Townsend Bell does it deliberately, by the way. He's admitted on several podcasts. He does it deliberately. Look at O'Ward, though, closing in on the back here of somebody. Venus VK down in 25th position. VK's going to go defensive. O'Ward sends it through. That's actually Rosencrest. How far away is this timing screen? There we go. O'Ward ahead of Rosencrest, not VK. God, the timing screen's glitching like crazy. Did it glitch for you as well, watching along?
I wasn't looking at it, I'll be honest, because I have just seen a valid point. How in the world did Chilton not get meatball flagged in the 3rd race when they were meatball flagging the nappers with the tiniest bit of debris?
It's napper.
Flapping.
Wouldn't you flag the nappers? They showed real pace this weekend, winning 2 of the 3 races. So everyone's now slightly alarmed. So, yes. We're getting into the business end, aren't we? 2 touring cars left. 3.5 Indy cars left. NASCAR's getting towards the play. To be fair, NASCAR, MotoGP, Formula 1, they're all still going to go the distance. Oh, spinner! 2 off down at turn 1. One of them is that... Oh, don't tell me that's a 78 car. It is. It's Connor Daly. Connor Daly coming to contact. Was that with Sowery? Or the 30... It's Fittipaldi again. Fittipaldi trying to go for a move on the inside line at turn 1 of the Shelter Chicane. Locks out, tags Rio Daly, and Daly spins round. Well, JT, I think another penalty coming the way there, and this time for Pietro Fittipaldi, that is deserved.
Yeah, that was Pietro Fittipaldi not being the best, and well, Pietro Fittipaldi, even though there's a million ways to go through, I don't think that that's one of the ways that you're meant to go through the escape road at
I just saw Jackson, by the way, trackside, I think, if he's still there down at Shelton. Jackson, Joe, if you're watching in the chat, let us know if you're there. We'd love to know where you are. They're probably sat in the media centre there with their feet up, drinking coffees. While we do all the hard work of the commentary. They've done their bit, now it's our turn. And you can catch all the post-race show stuff on Grid Network as well. All the post-race action with special guests coming your way as well. So Grid Network for the post-show. I doubt me and JT will get an invite. We're off, I know I'm off for a bath, a big slice of Mississippi mud pie, and then I'm off to bed. What about you?
What's this? I completely zoned out.
What are we doing after the race? Because I'm off for a Mississippi mud pie, a bath, and bed. What about you?
Oh, well, I was meant to be halfway or done editing today's video that I recorded, but no, I took an hour trying to transfer the files from my phone to the computer without having any issues.
Oh, it's okay. I get as into the pit lane as well. Now comes Nolan Siegel and Pietro Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi will serve his penalty now. Sticker reds going on for Siegel after being on primary tyre, so he'll change over now for stickers. Reds. Yeah, so I rage on that. We were due on air in 10 minutes, and all the footage that was sent to me, I downloaded, and the download had a big QR sticker on it. Cue me having to re-rush to download them and get on air just in time, and air them all as well, I might add. I was very impressed. That's why in the pre-show you didn't see my face until we came onto the commentary box with JT, and that's why you saw the orbit cam, because we were just rushing getting everything sorted. It was one after the other, so it was a constant battle to get it sorted.
So you're saying the viewers were saved for a little bit longer?
Yes. There goes Power. He makes the
now,
move on
they
Palou.
have to see us too.
The two in the lead of the race are battling finally. Power's been held up by traffic as NBC cuts to the camera. Power is still leading, but Palou's looking to the inside line, coming down into turn 10, 11 and 12. So the battle at the front, hotting up.
Is that who I think it is in front?
Fittipaldi, yeah, and he dives into the pit lane for his penalty. Activating
is that
push.
his second penalty?
Yeah. Do we still have push to pass, or is it now hybrid energy? I can't, because on the
hybrid.
Yeah, because on the timing screen it still says PTP, but obviously that's hybrid power. Does it work with the percentages going up and down? No, it's just showing it for like 185, 180, 194, and it regenerates itself. So like I don't think it's fully adjusted yet. Hopefully next year the timing will be changed and made better. To be honest with you, I showed the timing screen to somebody earlier on, and they said that they would be completely lost trying to follow it. It is like reading a Bible. I must admit, it is. You have to know what you're looking for to really pick out
then
the information.
It does say overtake on the main timing screen.
Oh, is that someone spinning? No, it's the top 5 graphic coming up. That 27 of 110. Power, Palou, Ferrucci, Grosjean and Herta. Your top 5. So Tom Gaymore saying that it's lap 31 that they're going to come in for pit stops as well, but that caution did extend it by 5. So look at lap 36, 37 for the pit stops to start to come in green flag conditions for number 1. Expecting a 3-stop race as well. So 30, 60, 90 to get to the end of 110. So a 3-stopper. Yeah. Wow. Kind of makes sense though. I don't know why anyone was like going, oh, it's going to be different, yeah. It's regen, says Joseph. Yes, yeah, it's the regen, but it's the push. It still says push to pass on our timing screen here up in the box. We know it regens. It's just it's going up and down to regen it, but it's showing us back in seconds, not in terms of battery level. So I would like it if we just had like 100 that went down and went back up, so we could see the percentage level. But yeah, it needs to be adjusted. David Malukas, by the way, has got a sub 60 second lap. He's done 59.745 down there in 20th position, so watch out for him to have a storming start to this race at the moment. By the way, NASCAR are racing with the trucks this weekend at the Milwaukee Mile. IndyCar are slightly worried about that because they're worried that when they're there in a week's time for testing and the races, the sheen shine, and that's still going to be there for the NASCAR tyres. So they're slightly worried about that. That could be in for an interesting Milwaukee Mile double. I'm going to keep an eye on it as we keep through. So coming up to the first pit stops. When we have pit stops, we'll hand over to the pit lane. Georgia and Dylan will tell us all the information that we need to know. They are our 2 pit reporters for the end of the season as we continue on. With Will Power leading this race as he comes into turn 11 and 12. Gently back on the power. Onto the drag strip, start-finish straight once again. We're going to start the 30th lap here of the BitNile.com Grand Prix of Portland. And getting into pit stop windows now. Toby Sowery for Dale Coyne Racing boxes as well. So he's come through. Really enjoying this second half of the IndyCar season, actually. It's been thrilling when we've all managed to get here. Of course. Yeah, Jackson's taken a couple. I've missed a lot. And I've even done the unthinkable of take NASCAR over IndyCar. Can't remember that. Welcome back to everyone watching on USA and Peacock, or if you're watching us all around the world via JBMotorsports on YouTube and Twitch, the Grid Network, and listening to us on USON. Lap 30 of 110 then. For the Grand Prix of Portland, Power leads Palou, Ferrucci, Grosjean, Herta is your top 5. We're coming towards the first run of green flag pit stops for the top 12 who are yet to stop. Connor Daly in 13th place has stopped, so they're on the alternative strategy, and now the top 12 have to dive into pit lane soon to get fuel as well as tyres. So really, it's crunch time, JT. Power a second to Palou, but Palou did get close a couple of laps ago.
Yes, he did, but he's now a second back. But I don't actually. You shouldn't regret taking NASCAR over IndyCar because it is sometimes good. Like, let's say yesterday, yes, we didn't have a clash, but we had SVG and Daniel Suarez eat Taco Bell. We had Michael McDowell thinking that he was in Rocket League, not in real life. With his manoeuvre up into the air.
You haven't seen touring cars race one, have you? Andrew Watson did exactly this. Yeah, good. Yeah, Andrew Watson did it. Jumped up and hit the barrier. Of course you do, because you said in the commentary about how is that tyre thing still there. Ferrucci and Ericsson dive into pit lane. There's Ferrucci, and Ericsson's coming in. So's Lundgaard, so's McLaughlin.
The second tyre back, but they didn't move the first tyre back.
I know, it confused the hell out of me in that one. Down to Georgia in pit lane. Pit's coming in.
To bring the 14 in, they're going to go from black tires to scuffed Firestone Reds, fill it up with Shell fuel as far as they can go, and he is down and away. We have to remember that these stalls are a foot shorter this weekend, so it presents a lot of challenges for these drivers.
So we'll remember that number, Georgia, 8.5 seconds for Santino Ferrucci.
Yeah, and into the pit lane also comes Ericsson as McLaughlin's in too. 7.7 for Ericsson on his pit stop, 9.8 for Stingray Rob. Here comes McLaughlin with a very good 7.5. He matches it. There's drama down at turn 1 as well. As they're going to be contact, Romain Grosjean side by side with the 8-car of Remus Lundqvist trying to come back up on the inside as well, JT. So it's Marcus Ericsson coming through. That 28 car still confusing to me as well.
Power's come into pit lane, so that gives Palou the lead.
Let's go down back to Dylan.
Their first stops of the day. Here's Will Power, who, as we said, got to the lead on lap 1, turn 1. Started on the primary tires. Romain Grosjean in behind him as well. Power looks like is going to go to a set of alternate tires. No change on the chassis or the front wing for Power. Grosjean is in behind him as well. They had a set of red tires laid out at first, but they've opted to put a set of primaries on for Grosjean, who did a great job to start on the reds.
And Rahal and Armstrong.
For Will Power, so he's still.
Yeah, so they're all diving in now, aren't they, for these stops? They're not going to let it go, are they? What a fantastic run.
On the racetrack.
Jack Harvey comes in the 18 as well. He drops down the board from around P12. He drops down.
So, I'm pressing the wrong buttons here.
Newgarden is coming in. So is Palou. The top 2 are in.
Yeah, this is big news as well for Palou, because if he has a super smooth stop, he can try and overcut that of Power. The gap 28 seconds as well. 8 is the stop. Needs to be 8-9. Back down to Georgia.
Just to make sure they could try to get some clean air on that in-lap. Palou is asking for a little bit of a front wing change as they'll start this second stint with primary tires as well. There's the wing change waiting on fuel. Palou's release. Let's watch the blend.
That was not
9.2 for Palou. It was a terrible stop. Will Power goes through and takes the lead. Joseph Newgarden is on a slow stop. Power takes the lead down to turn 1, JT.
Yep, and
oh no, I've tipped the wrong.
There goes the headphone cable with the dog getting off.
It's alright, I've pressed the wrong button as well up here in the comms box.
So Power takes the lead back from Palou. So, and if I remember rightly, as that was Ferrucci diving up the inside of her to down at turn 3, and that was a very smooth move from Ferrucci.
I've pressed the wrong button and I've knocked out the cable. I did tell you I'd do it at some point as well in this broadcast, so I'll continue on. Dust getting kicked up everywhere, JT, though, so yeah, actions at dawn to keep it up And fingers crossed it's going to be okay. What do you think we're actually going to see in this second half? As Herta was looking up to fly off the track there.
Yeah, so that's why it was so easy for Ferrucci to get past Herta, because look at that, there was the contact.
Yeah, and straight off.
Ferrucci just dived straight up the inside.
Right, I am nearly back up to running order after knocking the lead. It was my own silly fault because I knocked the lead that controls the screen. So it was my own fault what happened. I take full responsibility. Yeah, I'm going to be very careful with it from now on.
You're reminding me of the stewards order shot today when because there was non-contact formulas. Spoiler alert, I don't think any of the races had no contact. They took no contact and laughed at it today.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a little bit chaotic to say that they were a non-contact formula, and cars were flying everywhere. A car went up on 2 wheels, and Linus Lundqvist is coming down pit road.
Right, so Lundqvist then managed to get himself up to 13th on the alternative strategy, and he's coming in
look
for
at
his
that,
second
28
stop.
thousandths.
Wow, on the last pit stop that time, and that was Power being faster
With the
than
pit in
below,
that.
yeah.
Total minus 1.98 sevens, but yeah. And the stewards were just saying, insert car number here. You got spun because that was your own fault for cutting across the other car.
Oh, I'd be such a mean race director, I would be. But I would
Can already tell that.
I would rule with an iron fist half the time.
It's a fine. One of the marshals or officials when they were coming to the restart just went over the radio and
It's a hard knock life for us. Maybe I should do some actual race direction with EERC. That might be quite fun. JB takes over for an hour of one of the endurance races and all hell breaks loose. I'm just going, I need a code 40, I need a code 40. That's safety car, by the way. I spilled coffee on the machine.
JEB becomes a race director for an hour, disqualifies everyone except his own team.
Oh yeah, Hunter Birch simulation. Yeah. Oh, you can. Oh, that's why they probably wouldn't allow me to do that. Yeah. Black flag for everybody, barred the Hunter Birch simulation. They win the entire eSport race. Thank you very much. Good night. Craig D said, "Thank you again, JBMotorsports, for providing entire coverage of the race. Absolutely delighted to as well. We love coming here to Portland and doing all the racing with IndyCar and all the other series, and we always enjoy the fact that Joe Samiego's trackside, and he always brings the Grid Network shows over as well, and you can catch that later. And I'll be back on the Grid Tonight show on Wednesday as well with Kobe, and I think Matt White's back with us this week as well. We had Matthew Owens replacing him in the box for the show on Wednesday. And yeah, we went on just a little bit. I think we got under an hour. We just got to an hour that show, which is good because usually it's like an hour and a half. If Ben's on, we're on for 3 hours. Ben Schneider, of course, from Last Lap Media as well, coming through. So, lap 38. We're expecting... Well, everyone's done their stops now, haven't they? So they've come in earlier. So we're expecting now around about lap 64. We'll see them come in again. So it's another 34 laps or so. 36 laps until we see a next stop coming in. So about the next half. 73 laps to go of this one. We're racing for 41 minutes. So we're only 1:30. That's why I tell you it's going to be a long night here. This is more of an endurance race than a Grand Prix here, isn't it, JT? It goes the distance, always over 2 hours. That's why our off-air time is 11. It's only 9:10 now.
It definitely goes the distance. And what's that? Josh actually saying the correct off-air time for once? What?
What? Hang on a minute. We got right. This. If you don't know what this is about, if you've only just joined us for IndyCar and weren't with us for the NASCAR broadcast yesterday, I got told that the off-air time would be 3:30. That's when the race would end, and that we would be off-air by around about 4 a.m. I'd like to point out for the record that if it wasn't for the fact that we had 2 cautions for cars flipping upside down, plus then a 6-minute red flag period, we would have actually finished at 4 a.m. bang on the dot instead of 4:15. So I got close. It's always plus 15 anyway, around the outside of it. Like for right now, because we get the NBC running. Look, where's the running order? I have a running order here.
Is it easier to read than the other one?
It's exactly the same one. This is yesterday's NASCAR Cup Daytona on NBC. That's the running order that NBC gave out to the media. This is what the productions have. And it says off-air time for us would be 4 a.m. Race concludes at 3:30 a.m. Half an hour for the post-race show. And then a station break as well. I told you, it wasn't my fault that the race got long. About 40 of 110.
Your presence is enough to flip NASCARs, Josh.
Yes. Twice in a week. Let's go through the field. Starting with Grosjean.
They've got another set of sticker reds and a scuff set of reds as well, if that's what they want to do later on in the race. So Grosjean happy right now in the 5th spot, Georgia.
Santino Ferrucci rides right behind him in that 6th position, and in his 74 NTT IndyCar Series starts, he secured his first NTTP1 award. I mean, just think what a win could mean for the AJ Foyt organization as he rides in that 6th position.
Colton Herta.
Next, right behind him, Colton Herta, Andretti driver. He rides in that 7th position, started in 8th, and just think, Michael and Mario Andretti have won a combined 5 times here. So, some good information going to Colton Herta's ears right now, aside from Rob Edwards.
And behind him is Marcus Armstrong, who rides in the 8th spot. This has kind of been about where they've been on the time charts all day long, and spoke with Marcus, or all weekend long, I should say. Spoke with Marcus a little bit ago and said, we've actually been really good all weekend. It's just so tight. It's hard to make up a difference unless you're way better than everybody else, and that's a hard balance to find for sure. So Armstrong's been happy. He likes the red tires as well. Wasn't sure if his teammates liked him quite as much as he did, so Armstrong runs in the 8th spot on those preferred red tires for him right now, Georgia.
Graham Rahal says Portland International Raceway is home to his first big win in Star Mazda back in 2005. And we have to remember he held the pole here last year, so he has unfinished business to take care of today riding at night.
And Alexander Rossi rounds out the top 10, started 17th. They were one of the first cars to pit on lap 13, which they were going to have to do a little bit different on strategy, and it's paid off for them right now. Alex felt like they had a car that was capable of qualifying within the first 2 rows, and then just mysteriously kind of lost the balance in qualifying. So knew that if they could get track position, they could contend and run up front and hold on to that track position. He's going to have a big fuel save here over the next couple of stints, but Rossi in a good spot and making progress early.
Yeah, I like this call from the 7th stand.
Yeah, thanks everybody down there in the pit lane, and I think as well, JT, we're just now going to be sort of calming it down, and fingers crossed we're going to be in for a great second half. Well, we're not even halfway, are we? We're just sort of limpering through until the action starts because the field's too spread out, and I think we really need to keep it close.
Yeah, we're still 13,
well,
12 and a half laps away from getting to that halfway point. The duration of this current green flag has been for 37 minutes and 45 seconds. We were under caution for 7 minutes, and our total time under green is 38 minutes and 55 seconds and counting.
Yeah, unfortunately with this, you can't see the actual race. That's why I want to see, not this board thing. Sorry, yeah. The board thing is when we go down to pit lane, so that you get the whole timing and, you know, NBC, because then we don't. The whole point of that is that you can head down to the pit lane without then seeing me and JT, who get a bit of a break in the comp box, going like this. And for those listening on radio, we've got no idea what we were on about just then. But for those of you watching along, you know why that board's there. Otherwise, we're wiping noses and that lot, and readjusting bands or headset clips and all that lot, or just changing things over in the box. So just gives us a few seconds to, just make sure everything's set. So that's what the board thinks.
Or in my case, testing the light system if something goes wrong.
Yes. Speaking of which, Palou nearly went up and over the Shelton chicane. Very tight entry to turn 1. If I could show the whole race, I would. Radio.
Hit power on your reds or used red? Used.
So Alex,
tyres, radio used. Do you remember when you used to be able to get team radio in IndyCar? Wasn't that grand? It's a shame that went, wasn't it?
Yeah, you can still get it on, of course, these, what is it? if you're at the track, you can
Yeah.
still get them on these. But
Scanners.
yeah, not on
That's
not
why.
when you're thousands of miles away across
Do you
a
know,
massive ocean.
I took a season off of IndyCar commentary back in 2019, I want to say, all bar the Indy 500. And I actually, for every single race, I didn't listen to the commentary. I had the headphones on, and I was listening to all the spotters, and I was listening to the pit information because I commentated on it in 2017. Well, let's start again. I started the Indy 500s in 2016 as McLaughlin. I'm going to interrupt myself to bring you this. As McLaughlin goes to the inside line, having a look on Marcus Ericsson into turn one, as it decides against it. It's tricky to overtake at this circuit in an IndyCar, so that's what's having the problem with it. But yeah, started in 2016, only did the 500s, decided, okay, I'll do the full season in 2017. Didn't like it, took 18 off, and 19. And through those years, I was listening to every race via the spotters, still watching it. And I sort of got the bug during COVID, ironically enough. IndyCar was the first race back. It was the first racing series that came back in June. And I thought, let's do it. Let's commentate IndyCar again. It's in Texas. And this was way before we got this commentary box set up the way it was. Because during COVID, it was dismantled because there was nothing on for 6 months. So the commentary box was dismantled. We rushed to put it up. We had a small television, a bus mixer and a headset, and a laptop, and I commentated on the race. Huddled into a garage that was full of stuff due to COVID. Tyre change coming in for Alexander Rossi. Takes off one used set of sticker reds, puts on another used set of sticker reds, and away he goes after getting 7.4 seconds worth of fuel as well. But yeah, that's what happened, so yeah. And I miss those audios. Weird train exit there, but yeah, that's the way it goes. That's how we're dealing in with this race at the moment. Now, Power leading by 2.8 seconds to Palou. Power's on the primary is Palou, Power on option. So that's what we're going to have to stay alert with tyre strategies coming to play in this race. Curtis still on the attack as he crosses the line. He's down in 7th place. Ferrucci is 1.2 seconds ahead of him. There's a little bit of water on the lens there of Herta from his pit stop a few moments ago. And they're still on the attack. So, lap 46 of 110. 64 laps to go, and we're 50 minutes in. So I reckon, JT, do you reckon with 10 minutes to go we could get to... Well, yeah, we'll get halfway, won't we? 55... Yeah. Inside the hour. 10 laps, 10 laps. Yeah, so it'll be a 2-hour race, which takes us 10 extra minutes. 10:30 UK time is the off-air point.
In other words, around I don't have extra 15-20 minutes to that because yesterday you said that and then look what happened.
Whatever.
2 cars flipped over.
I say we're off air at 10:45. If we're not, I'll be surprised.
I'm actually going to go with you on that for once.
Well, why not? That's new. Somebody put a marker in the YouTube chat or Twitch because JT's just agreed with me on an off-air time. That's never happened before. We're always rowing about, it's going to be 10 minutes longer. It's not going to be this time. He told me.
It's fine. Even I got an off-air time. Well, even I got a time wrong of what time I was going to be back today because I thought I wasn't going to get back for race 3. Then look what happened.
You also said that we'll be off air at 5 a.m. yesterday in NASCAR. I said 4 and it was 4. So I got it right. You were way off.
And you can blame Premier Sports for having 5 a.m. as their cut-off time on their TV guide.
I had the production order. Always trust the production order.
I have never got round to understanding the production order.
I understand it better now. But it does look like a bunch of numbers. Oh, it's just getting insane. Into the pit lane goes Venus VK, Pato Award and Yuri Vips all starting to come in for their second stops. Now, these are the guys who pitted very early on in the race, putting on the alternative strategy So they're coming in now, new fuel, new tyres going on. I believe it's going to be, for award and VIPs, they'll put primaries to the sticker reds. They have done that. And for award, he should go to the options as well. VIPs will go to options too. So they're all actually changing onto the option tyre, JT.
Yeah, and award just continuing down pit road. And everyone we're seeing...
Yep. Are you ready for the Cookout 500 at Darlington Raceway next Sunday night? No.
Am I here? Is the main question.
Welcome back to everyone watching on USA. That 50 of 110 here. Power, Palou, Kirkwood, Newgarden, Grosjean has the top 5. We're watching Pato Award being under pressure, I believe, from Linus Lundqvist at the moment as they come out of turn 8. Down through 9 and across down to turn 10 as well. Kiffin Simpson's coming to the pit lane. Here comes Linus Lundqvist. Trying to get ahead of Pato. Oh, it's all Power. Power passing Award. That's lapping traffic then. Tell us that, NBC, before. Honestly.
Yeah, I am here for Darlington because it's another Aldershot event, which is like a midday. It's an 11 a.m. start and it finishes around 4:30. Which is
so you're not here for the Italian Grand Prix?
No, but to make it better, the American Cup cars and Junior American Cup cars are Aldershot
that does make
for members.
That is better. I love how the fact that... Oh. Into the pit lane comes Kyle Kirkwood. I've just realised a problem. We'll wait to see if JT realises it. As Kirkwood was also in an 8.3 second stop with a lot of fuel coming in. Rosencrest coming down pit road as well. JT, next weekend we've got MotoGP as a clash as well.
Do we?
Yes.
Oh, what a shame I'm not here. Have fun.
With the support series as well. And TV pictures galore. Okay, that could be fun.
Something tells me that
Jess is gonna be busy?
Moto3 and Moto2 is going to be sidelined.
Yeah, looks like it will be. Side by side, that's going to be tight. The 51 trying to go around the outside as well of Toby Sowery. We're riding with Kyle Kirkwood, who's keeping him wheel to wheel. Down to turn 8. Kirkwood back on the inside. Sowery in the ever-changing, regenerating 51 livery lineup as well. Still holding it together. And he's coming back down to turn 10 on the inside line. Sowery's not giving up. Last in the late breakers, and he's back through on Kirkwood. And Kirkwood's tyres would be up to temperature by now. So what's happening there then?
I don't know.
Toby Sowery has just raced Kyle Kirkwood and won. The 51 has had more people driving that car this year than there have been Doctor Who's. There's been more. It's unbelievable. Catherine Legg was in it last week, and Catherine's back, isn't she, for the next 3 races?
The 51 has had more driver changes than I've been circuits this year, and that's saying something. Because I'm everywhere.
I'm in Shelbyville, Octaville. Yeah, there's a replay of the side-by-side battle we were seeing on the TV screens. To be honest with Adam's question, he's put in the intro chat, yes, I am very much looking forward to Darlington. But I'm not looking forward to the fact that Darlington is the regular season finale. Didn't like that. I thought Daytona was the best race we've had in a long time last night. As we see, that's a full yeah, you can see how dull the race is at the moment. That fact that we've just gone through the entire action zone side by side again. For lap. That's the changeover. Power leading the way though, JT.
By 3.1 seconds as well. And then it's a 10-second gap from Palou to Newgarden.
And there's Power lapping traffic. That's him getting ahead of Rosenquist. Dust kicked up ahead. See where that was from. Armstrong up 6th. Grosjean pits. So Romain Grosjean comes into pit lane, and now we're seeing a battle between Joseph Newgarden and Well, we're not on board with Palou, so who are we on board with here? It's a McLaren. Can't be Rossi being lapped, is it?
I've just realised something.
It's known as Seagull, thank God for that. Okay. Go on, JT.
Darlington is the third cookout race we've had this year in NASCAR.
Yes, we've had quite a lot of the cookouts.
2 cookout 400s and now the cookout Southern 500.
Yeah, get a different name.
Oh, and it's a night race as well. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's why I said I wasn't looking forward to it. Midnight again for us here in the UK. There goes Kirkwood on the inside of Toby Sowery, and Sowery now drops down to 13th place. Kirkwood back up to 12th with a nice move on the inside line. Whoa, we're halfway there. Lap 55, go on.
Quickly check the term dates of my school and hope that it's an inset day on the Monday so I don't have to go back after the NASCAR night race.
So, we are halfway as the two Junkos racing cars side by side battling each other. Grosjean ahead of Daly. If it was Agustin Canapinas in the car, I might be a little bit more worried. Rahal and Rob down pit road. Still with Rob having a bit of a slow stop there. A lot of smoke coming from his side of the track as well. Oh! Off goes the 20! That's down at turn 10, and he's got back on very quickly for Christian Rasmussen. Locked up and went straight on, nearly hit the barrier, but luckily not. Several different ways back onto this circuit, remember. Halfway there, inside an hour.
At the end of the drag strip, and that was some rapid acceleration from the 20 car on the drag strip.
That was a bit weird, wasn't it, actually? How that
which was very dusty, because he was sliding around all over the place when coming back on the circuit, of course, with his dirty tyres.
Oh, Sowery's trying to go back around the outside of Kirkwood. Kirkwood's defending like crazy. Sowery, did he make the move? Did Sowery get ahead of Kirkwood? He did! Kirkwood's down to 13th. Sowery's up to 10th. He's past Grosjean.
Highest ranking rookie at the moment in the race.
He's 10th. And Kyle Kirkwood with a penalty. Wow. So Kyle Kirkwood gets a penalty. I understand for dangerous driving. Weaving under braking. Palou, Newgarden into pit lane earlier than expected. Let's head down to the pits.
Oh, Dylan is making stop number 2.
He is, and this will be his first stint on the red tires. Asked for a half turn of front wing. He actually got a little bit free, a little bit loose at the end of his run on those primary tires. That's this most recent run. So they'll add shell fuel here, make that front wing change, and change tires for Palou. We see Joseph Newgarden in front of him as well. And Newgarden's in. They were telling him to just keep pushing on that run. They were on the primary tires, I believe, and I think they're going to go to another set of primaries as well for Newgarden.
So we still need to see Power, Ferrucci, Herta, Armstrong, and more make their second stop. What does the overcut do? Staying out longer.
Yeah, that's going to be that is the general definition of an overcut, to be fair. Overcut means you go longer. Undercut means you come in beforehand. What's Power going to do? Power pits now as well. Let's head back down to pit road.
On that stint, James, to maintain pace, and this means he's got a set of sticker reds still in the bag.
Down to pit lane again.
Sticker reds in the bag, and he's going to have to use them at some point. He started on the primaries, went to those scuffed reds, the used reds.
Dylan, are those used reds again?
They sure are. So they're saving their set of sticker reds for the final stop here. Power has been really happy with the balance all day, and they're going to save their best tires for the end of the runs. Georgia.
Yeah, Santino Ferrucci has been incredibly quiet on the radio. They went from scuffed reds to blacks, but no complaints from Ferrucci.
And Power is...
Thank you very much. Now, where did Power come out in that little melee? Down in 6th position. Still times that need to be dealt with here. Lap 58 of 110. 53 laps to go in this race. Ferrucci comes out behind Grosjean, but ahead of Daly, so he comes out in 11th. Splits up the gap again, but he's on very cold primary tyres compared to Daly, who's on he's on sticker reds, isn't he? So Daly should be able to just fly back through here at awesome speed, JT. Oh, sorry, are you doing something?
Yeah, you've got me on Too Good to Go again.
Oh.
Pepperoni, 12-inch pizza for £4.
Oh, that's decent, yeah. Don't forget, it's a bank holiday tomorrow. So.
Yes.
Shop shut early. It's also
or not
race
open
day.
at all.
No, it's perfect because my niece and nephew are here, so I can just pop them in front of the television and go, look, bikes at Cadwell. Into the pit lane comes Toby Sowery and Connor Daly.
And I can get in a car, travel an hour and a half, and go, oh, look, there's Reliant Robbins flipping over and 12 caravans getting destroyed.
It's good to have it back on Bank Holiday weekend, isn't it, Cadwell Park? It feels right for British Superbikes.
Yeah, because they lost it for a couple of years, didn't they?
They did, yeah. Also means it's one of the races in the year that we should theoretically always be able to do because it's on a Monday. So, yeah, maybe next year we'll go trackside. We will go trackside.
Of course, they have they have the May Bank holiday with Walton Park as well.
That's true, yeah. So we can do that one as well. Easter's Monday as well, races coming in.
Have to remember though, Alton Park is one of the circuits like Croft where you're not allowed to start before midday on a Sunday.
Yeah, plays havoc for when we have classic weekends for like, oh, I don't know, MotoGP. And they start at like 12:15. It's like, can we get this race in before we have to go on air for MotoGP? Do we risk it? To lead, Armstrong second, Ericsson third as into the pit lane for new tyres. Here come several of the riders. Palou down to 7th, Power still 6th, Newgarden now 8th, Grosjean 9th. Grosjean's actually a contender in this race. It feels weird to say that, but Grosjean's actually involved as Siegel tries to get back through, and this is to pass Sowery down into turn 9 and 10, and well, he's off the track, and that was always going to happen, I'm afraid, for Nolan Siegel. There was no way he was going to make side-by-side work down in turn 9 and 10, and he's got off the track for, well, he just deserts.
Yeah, he was loose going in towards the entry as well. Very nearly collected Sowery, and that Sowery was lucky to get out of that unscathed.
McLaughlin and Lundgaard have cut down pit lane again, so Siegel's going to get an easy pass here down the inside. We're riding with, is that Marcus Ericsson? Who are we on board with now? Marcus Ericsson. I should trust my gut. Net third in this race. Lapping traffic now as well. That's where we're coming to.
Harvey also coming down pit lane.
McLaughlin changes over from one set of red tyres to another used set of reds. A lot of fuel going in there as well. 8.6 seconds worth. Lundgaard and Harvey, as you say, JT, coming down pit road again. Haven't seen Lundgaard's time. It hasn't flashed up on the monitor. Harvey's just started in the background, but I think that might fly away. NBC's graphics not really working that well as well. Colton Herta's coming in. Here's the replay again of Siegel versus Sowery. And that was Siegel's fault. Straight off the track, trying to come around the outside. So Armstrong takes the lead. Herta and Ericsson are into the pit lane. And here's Herta now. And he's putting on another set of primary tyres. It's a used set of it's a used set of red tyres. So not a lot of fuel there, JT. Just 7.4 seconds coming through. Ericsson's also coming down pit road, and he's in now. Takes off the primaries, puts on the reds, as that was Palou passing Ferrucci again?
Yeah, I've just seen flash up purple on the timer screen. Romain Grosjean has the best lap.
Yellow flag, spinner, that's the 77.
Oh,
it's not anymore.
wow.
Romain Grosjean's gone round on the red tyres of the Shelton chicane. I spotted the yellow flag on the exit, and if he stored the car, we could be in for a full course yellow, which will devastate everybody who's just made their pit stops. Marcus Armstrong included, who's just come in and he stalled the car, has to go full course yellow. Oh, he's got it going. Oh, well done, Roman. He's refired it. Oh, no! And he's hit again! And he's taken off the front wing of the 20. And it's a rear puncture, surely, for Grosjean.
Oh.
He comes again. Second dangerous re-entry. He got hit by Christian Rasmussen and nearly got taken out by Toby Sowery.
So that...
Puncture, he's off again. Yeah, he's out. Grosjean's out. Broken rear suspension. Sorry, Roman, your day is done. Oh, my God.
What happened, Marco? Well, I'll tell you what happened. You lost control with the left rear getting that kicker off the turn 1 apron.
Yeah, he's got I don't know if it's a puncture, JT, or suspension, but he's now in the way of everybody, but that was his own fault. What? He just slung back and then expected everyone to avoid him.
Yeah, well, Romain Grosjean's used to being put into certain walls and armco barriers.
Spins round, gets the accelerator back. Oh, yeah, there's a car right there. What was Rasmussen
me.
supposed to? Yeah, behind me. What was Rasmussen supposed to do there? And it is a broken. It's got to be a broken suspension for Grosjean. How we've not gotten yellow, I don't know. By the way, well held at least. But Rasmussen boxing for new tyre. Oh, refired up the battery, JT. Hybrid power restart. Wow.
You're saying for once the hybrid battery restart actually worked?
It did. Wow. And yeah, Rasmussen with broken front wing, trailing into the pit lane. Grosjean in now as well.
Put new tires on it, but there is pretty heavy damage on the front of the 20.
Yeah, like it's
Cheers,
a tough...
Thanks, Georgia. So yeah, there is damage on the front there, JT. Grosjean always...
Are we surprised though?
No. Grosjean always finds ways to stuff things up, says Rod. Well, he's done it in fine style today, I can tell you that much. Power, Palou, Newgarden, Herta, Ferrucci in top 5. 47 laps to go here at the Grand Prix of Portland. No yellows in this race, bar the opening lap. I was hoping we might get a caution there, actually, because then we could throw down to Tom Gaymore and get his thoughts on the race as well. Friend of the network, who's coming on for some races later on in the season. Not IndyCar related, of course, because he works for Sky Sports F1 for those, but other races around the board, like an F1 as well. Sliding in, but he's working on the Paralympics at the moment. Oh, guess what's gone off again? Oh, guess what's everything gone off? Yeah, well, actually, it looks like we're going to have to go to the game ball for a second so I can fix things again. Back to Tom.
Sure, Will Power wouldn't agree. Marcus Armstrong was right on the bubble there. They dived into pit lane to get that car serviced on the pressure that there may have been a caution. There wasn't, and so we were left to rue over what went wrong there. Well, Romain Grosjean made a mistake all by himself, which is, for someone of his experience at the sharp end of the field, well, he'll be kicking himself, but then to drive into the path of cars coming through that chicane, well, that's unforgivable, and I'm sure race control will come down on the Frenchman like a ton of bricks for that. And poor old Rasmussen, well, his race now heavily compromised as we look at Yuri Vips there running through the far chicane. I think that's Yuri Vips. Well, we're on board with the Auto Nation car. This is Rahal. Yeah, it's Rahal. They've got the same livery, but different sponsors on the side pod. So from the aerial, you can't see. So that was Graham Rahal finding a way past Carl Kirkwood for 7th place there. And textbook stuff, using the hybrid deployment and the push to pass. Now, push to pass hasn't changed. You still have that allocation available to you over the course of a race. And of course, the hybrid you will have every single lap as long as you've made the regeneration and you have that available energy deployable to you. And for me, I think, and we saw this conversation earlier on X, it's a much better system than the DRS, having pushed the pass coupled with the hybrid, because it gives that tactical element. It's not just there for you to drive past other cars. People can use it to attack and defend, but of course you will run out at some stage of the push to pass if you use it too freely, and then you've just got the hybrid available to you.
You're back with us on USA. We're just getting a few updates sorted as well, as the iPad has stopped working. Always the way to go, isn't it, JT? To have your power supply die and it not let you start doing it. What are you making of the race so far then? Lap 67 of this race.
I'm going to say it's been a bit quiet, hasn't it?
Sadly, yes.
44 laps to go around the circuit.
Right, I've got it working.
43.
I've got it working. I'm scared to touch it half the time. I really am. It's having.
We've only had 132 on-track passes for position.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, I was expecting more, to be fair. Right, if we all talk very quietly, it might just work without prodding. So, we're still in the action here with Battle for first, Power and Palou, just 4 tenths between them. Lap traffic coming in involved as well, but surprise, surprise, we do have a battle for the lead here. And it's a crucial one for the championship as well. I think everyone sort of forgot about that, JT, is that Power could come back in this quite quickly.
Yeah, and Power is able to get back, and he can be good at ovals,
Yes, he
Power
can, yeah.
sometimes.
Well, he won.
So that may help him.
Who's out? Linus Lundqvist leaving the pit lane. Oh, nearly taken out. That was nearly, comically enough, Linus Lundqvist in the 8 car of Chip Ganassi Racing, taking out the 10 car of Alex Palou in Chip Ganassi Racing. So, nearly a teammate suicidal moves.
By this traffic by the end of the race.
Clear this traffic.
Taking quite a bit of time out of it the last few laps.
And the other thing to note...
Yeah, it's going to take quite a lot of these tyres out. We're getting JT near... We're going to... Is that one more stop? They've done 2. Is it a 2-stopper? Will we go 3? That's the question. I'm thinking 3 stops.
I think
personally.
they have to go 3 stops.
Yeah.
They've all committed to the 3 stop now.
Yeah, they're not going to get it to the end, so it's going to be a 3-stopper. I would say round about lap 92. And yes, maybe round about there we'll get them in. So not many laps. Yeah, round about lap 90. Into the pit lane comes Romain Grosjean. And this is another stop for him. And is this a penalty pass-through? Yes, it is. Penalty for... Yes, it's a penalty pass-through for Romain Grosjean.
Pretends to be shocked.
Romain! Instead of Kevin. Yeah, it used to be Kevin Magnussen, of course, that was causing all that drama. Where can we find all this cool data? Chase Green says as well. The data from the timing screen with the black background, that is timing 71. You can download it as well from, just Google timing 71 on Chrome and you can add it as a Chrome extension to your browser. The data here is from IndyCar.com and the driver tracker is from the app. So yeah, it really is. We literally cobble it all together to get you the best of everything here at JBMotorsports. It's kind of like you use us so that you don't have to find all the mess yourself.
And then us two are just here, just talking.
Yeah, and we take some microphones and hammer it when it doesn't work half the time.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
90% of the time we're not talking about what we're actually meant to be talking about.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens in IndyCar races, especially when it's just us two.
Because even though we've gone off topic, we have gone nowhere near some of the...
No, we could go worse. Yeah.
We've actually had some kind of rails
We have today, yeah. Considering that we're both running on very little sleep as well, I'm surprised. Because we were doing NASCAR until God knows what time in the morning.
5 a.m.
4 at least. We'll just say as well, hang on, is it Saturday or Sunday night the NASCAR race next week? It doesn't really matter, does it? Because I've just been reminded.
Sunday night.
I've just been reminded that at 11 o'clock we've got the IndyCar race anyway. So, sleep schedule for Joshua is going to be very much just.
Yay. So who's doing IndyCar then?
Jackson and me.
And I'll be on NASCAR.
What do you mean? There's no clash.
What? You said 11 p.m. in. Do you mean the Saturday one is 11 p.m.?
Okay, you're confusing me now. Yeah, there's no clash, JT.
You just said there's a clash.
No, the IndyCar. I'm going to be up all night basically, because then MotoGP starts early in the morning, and all the other support action like Formula 3 and Formula 2 and all that lot. So I'm not going to sleep next weekend.
Yeah. Race 1 is at 11.
51.
On the Saturday night, and then we have an 11 p.m. race Sunday night as well.
No, we don't.
NASCAR.
Oh
Sunday
yeah,
night.
sorry, yeah. I thought you meant this one. Right, just so we're not confused. The Milwaukee Mile Race 1, 11 p.m. on the Saturday. 7:30 p.m. the Milwaukee Mile Race 2 for IndyCar. Straight after that is the NASCAR. But they're on the same network.
Which I'll be on backup for because I know that they're going to be delayed, probably.
Yeah.
IndyCar.
Yeah. One of them always is. So always best to have that delay in graphic packaged.
Even though Josh has changed his NASCAR OBS and I haven't touched mine in months.
Well, I figured out that we can actually just easily... I figured out... that was car... Yeah, that was the 66 going straight off the track again, down at the Shelter Chicane. So that was David Malukas in the 19 car just going straight. Really? Another one? Okay, I think NBC going for a break. Power, Palou, Newgarden, Herta, Ferrucci, your top 5 with 37 laps to go. Yeah, anyway, well, I found out something cool, actually, with the OBS, that we don't now... Basically, you know how we've got 40 cars as the maximum entry in a NASCAR race?
Yeah.
Well, this weekend we had it at Daytona. So I set the new graphics package up for that. But also, instead of having to manually go through and edit each time, you can select the whole file. If you put all the little data into a file, you can just edit the file quite easily. So you don't have to edit each one. So yeah, it's just saved me like 1 million times of jobs. JB's nickname next weekend is No Sleep. Yes, it is No Sleep. I will be awake all the time. Jess, you are so taking Formula 3. No, you can't because it's the last race of the year. Oh dear. I am going to be in for a long night next week.
Have fun.
Moto 3 and Moto 2 won't be live, which is actually better because I can do them on the MacBook immediately after, later on in the night, and then upload them afterwards, so it's all fine. I think Moto...
It's fine on the Thursday. I'm in Bournemouth all day.
That is...
literally, probably morning till night, because you've got...
Oh! David Malukas went through the first chicane runoff and has been assessed a 4-track position penalty for shortcutting the course. So he's... Oh, I thought I broke it again. I dropped my phone onto the desk and it knocked the iPad. So that's controlling the driver tracker. So he's got 4 places to give up as David Malukas. So he's going to drop behind Sowery. Oh, he's just going to go back, really. He's going to go back to the back. Because Siegel's the last one on the lead lap. So, yeah. 4 places back is there. There's Newgarden in 3rd. Back to you, though, JT, with your point.
Yeah, it's the Bournemouth Air Festival, Thursday 29th to Saturday the 31st, so I'm going down on the Thursday. They have the day displays, but they have the twilight displays as well, so that's fun. If RAF Typhoon with Afterburner glowing in the twilight. I've actually never seen a twilight air display before, so that should be quite fun.
That's going to be nice.
It means getting a bus from Bournemouth to where I am is around an hour and a bit.
I'm doing a lot of cycling over the next few weeks as well.
Are you going to be stuck at that same place for multiple hours again?
No. We had to wait. It was really annoying as well. That's 76 or 110 to come through.
I'm just in Bournemouth on the 29th of August and I just see Josh just going past on his bike.
I haven't stopped cycling since March! If anyone doesn't get that, by the way, I live near Cleethorpes, so the Meridian line, which is the timeline of the entire world, the Greenwich Meridian line, I live where it intersects. So there's a bench there with the world. So I took a photo at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I put it on. And then, by sheer coincidence, 8 hours later, I was back in exactly the same spot on a walk with my friends. And I thought, I was only here 8 hours ago. I'll take a photo in exactly the same position. And I think I put it on Instagram as well. Some people might have seen it. I've been sat here for effing hours. It was fantastic. And then I was cycling last week, and we went through, and I put another one saying, someone's rescued me after 2 weeks, I've now got a bike, I can leave. So yeah, it was quite funny, really. As Malukas is into the pit lane on a green flag pit stop as well. How many seconds? 7.5. So Malukas is fueled to the end, JT, and he's going to be putting on a new set of tyres. I think it's alternatives.
Looking at the 14 team, do we have communications, or is it just a picture-in-picture?
It's picture-in-picture.
The Oakland.
Yeah, it's picture-in-picture. Kevin Lee's in the commentary box as well, shouting over. It's Ferrucci and his strategists watching on.
Normally when they do this in NASCAR, we get comms, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, JT. NBC don't care about IndyCar anymore. That's why everything is slowly going over to NASCAR. Can we wait for when Fox takes over next year? No, we can't. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with it. My only worry is that it's going to feel exactly the same as NBC. That's my only worry. Fox could actually do something brilliant, you know. And they could do what NBC are trialling out now and have every green flag lap shown without the commercial or side-by-side picture. And then, under yellow, go to stage breaks. Or go to the breaks. Like they did in Daytona for NBC. Yeah, NBC, nothing but commercials, didn't go to commercial in green flags yesterday. And do you know what the viewing figures were? 20% up on what they normally would be.
I wonder why.
Yeah, because now every 5 minutes you're being asked to buy talc. So let's have a quick look. My phone's buzzing like crazy actually as well, as we're being told that pit stops are going to come in soon. New guard is going to come in as well. He's on red, so they're not going to make it to the end of the race as well, so they're going to have another alternative run around. This has actually been one of the great races we've had. I know it's not had so much action, but it has kept in with the championship, and it has been close. The lead has constantly been close. It's not like last year, JT, where I think Palou ran away with it, won the title, everyone was like, whoa. Here, Palou and Palou have been locked in combat the entire race, and that's the good thing about it. It's a slow burn.
Yeah, absolutely. Rahal, VK, O'Ward and Vips have come all into pit road.
So this is VK, O'Ward and Vips again, as you say. And sticker reds now starting to go on for these guys that didn't have it on to begin with. So these are the last gasp, and they were the ones who've done the alternative strategies. They're going to have to do 30 laps on those tyres. Might not be doable. No, one caution. Did we run caution free last year as well, if memory serves?
I cannot remember.
Was a year ago. I don't blame you. Ferrucci, Kirkwood coming into the pit lane. O'Ward sliding out the Shelton chicane. I wonder what the lap time is for IndyCar to Formula E. Ferrucci pits, we've got
now
Dylan.
Going to make me look.
Yes, I am.
Santino Ferrucci's going to put those sticker reds right back on. He was asked by Larry Ford if he wanted any other changes. He said, nope, just tires. So all happy from Santino Ferrucci.
Nice job.
Thanks, Georgia. That's definitely not Dylan. Like I got told it would be. That is definitely Georgia. As Ferrucci 7.5. Kirkwood a 7.8. Rosenquist stopping now. Ferrucci aggressive coming out of the pit lane now. 7, 6. Oh, Rosenquist couldn't tell. 5.3, I think it said something on the radar there for all the action. Oh, lock up coming into turn 1 as well for the 60 of Felix Rosenquist. He gets passed by Alexander Rossi, who goes around the outside. Rossi did brilliantly there. So that's going to change over. Armstrong pits as well. So this is now, and Stingray Robin as well. So and Kiffin Simpson. So this is it again. Everyone starts to come through. Ferrucci, it was new, sorry, it was sticker reds
10
for Ferrucci.
seconds.
The gap.
Yeah.
So,
okay. This year's a Firestone Fast 6 with a 58.2046. So 2045.
Yeah.
And then the qualifying result for round 14 of the season was a 108.779. And round 13 of the season was a 108.820. So yeah, around, it fluctuates around 10.
Yeah. That's not too bad at all, though. Points as they run then. Palou will keep the distance to Power identical, 54 each. Same as when he came into today. Herter will be on 67. McLaughlin 86. Dixon 101 back. Dixon with no points today really harms his challenge. That's going to be fun. Armstrong also came in for new tyres. Bob Popcrass is also tweeting for the Milwaukee race, and it's buzzing my watch like crazy as well. Battle for third between Newgarden and Herter. Battle for the first place between Palou and Palou also starting to come into factors now as well. Just a second separating them as they're hitting traffic. As you can see, the green car highlighted on the driver tracker, that is Power, and that's the one you've got to keep an eye on through the first couple of corners. Herter right behind him in fourth, closing back up again, JT, and this is where we like to see it.
Yep, Herter using his hybrid going down the straight, down to 9%. He'll regen it a little bit, going in towards the chicane, up to 17% now, exit of the chicane. He goes down, Power just up ahead, 14 seconds up ahead the road is Power.
Attack, 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 attack. So 27 to go. Admittedly, my eyes are starting to go at the moment as well. This is what happens when you've done a whole day of racing. Jess is now currently probably laughing at us because she's done so much today. All 3 BTCC races, 2 Formula 1 Academy, and a Porsche and an F1. 7. Whereas I've done 5. 4. Sorry, Jess. Even Megan's done 3 today.
Even I've done a lot today.
2.
Plus the 14 races and Destruction Derby I recorded.
Yeah, fair point. I don't know, JT. You're clutching at straws there. So they fly in again. Yeah, Jackson will be back with us in the comms box next week at Milwaukee. As we see, again, here's the 11 of Marcus Armstrong coming out of the last corner. Giving it the welly. He's got right behind him, that is Santino Ferrucci in 10th position. Ray Hall just behind him. But then it's the lap cars coming through again of Power. So Ray Hall, Ferrucci, Armstrong, the next to be lapped. Sowry 6 seconds further up the road. But into the pit lane again comes Colton Herter. His third stop of the day. Scott McLaughlin in as well. We've lost to TV yet again. I'll hand you back to the pit lane.
Says he can on Alex Palou. He was asked by Rob Edwards if he wanted any changes. No changes to the wing. Fresh reds on Colton Herter. He's down.
Stalled.
Oh, he stalled it. Colton Herter stalled. There he goes.
A critical 5 or 6 seconds.
Herter stalled it, JT, and that's 11.2 seconds he's taken out of the race. Wow.
Drama, and here comes Scott McLaughlin.
I want to hear that again as McLaughlin comes in for his last stop.
I don't know, Georgia, maybe you could give us some clarity on whether or not you heard a full engine stall there.
So as we have understood them in the past, the hybrid is not allowed to restart the car on pit lane.
Yeah, Georgia, can you confirm that the engine was dead?
It did sound quiet to me. It did sound like the engine was off.
Thanks, Georgia. Power's in. Newgarden as well. Race leaders diving in from the leads. Palou takes it.
That set of sticker red tires at their disposal. That's what they'll put on here. Need another fast stop here for the Power crew. They do it. Joseph Newgarden is in as well. He has a set of sticker primary tires if they want it, but I believe they're going to go to used reds here to finish. Alex Palou should be in the next lap as Newgarden completes service.
Not a bad stop there as well. So, again, JT, they're moving it around, but it's advantage in my book for Will Power. Sticker reds are much faster than old red tyres. Here's McLaughlin.
They really are. And here is Scott McLaughlin, as you say, going out the final corner, down towards the line and down towards the chicane. And Alex Palou is in the leader.
So McLaughlin holding off Ferrucci as well. That's for position over 8th as well. So they're going to have it New red tyres for Power, and he's away as they come in. Here comes Alex Palou. Is he going to come off from sticker reds to any other tyres, then reds? We're waiting. It's black primaries, and it's old black primaries, JT. It's not stickers. Scrubbed set.
That is bold from Alex Palou and the 10 crew.
That's not going to work, I don't think. Definitely not. Power is going to scream down. Palou has not got the traction exiting pit lane. He looked very, very slow indeed. And now taking the lead goes Power. Palou almost looks stationary as the 66 of Malukas tried to pass him again.
Firestone.
Thought we were going to hear some radio there. We didn't. So there we have it. All change. Power leads Palou by 2 seconds.
Ericsson long stop.
Oh, yeah, it is long stop for Marcus Ericsson.
He is back out on track, though. I think it was a timer glitch.
23 laps to go. Getting to the business end here of the Grand Prix of Portland. Power, Palou, Lundgaard, Newgard and Herta. And they've stayed caution-free the majority of the race as well. Only that opening lap crash for Scott Dixon, a championship contender, throwing it towards the wall. Palou is going to be not too pleased with being second, but 50 points for him for Power. He will be happy. I'm happy at the moment as well. Will Power's won 2 races so far this year, Road America and Iowa, and I was not in the commentary box for either of them. I mean, I was, but I wasn't. Because I ended up being co in Road America. But Jackson led both of them, and I wasn't there. So, yeah, I would like to call Will Power winning a race. I've not done that since Detroit 2 years ago. Or 3 years ago. However long we were. Yeah, yeah. There goes 45 coming in as well. But because he won the last Belial race, of course. Let's not forget. Will Power. Back in 2021? Oh, when did we leave Belial? 22? 22. Yeah, 22 we left Belial. I know I've covered races from Belial as well. Missed that. Big lock-up coming in then from the 60 car of Felix Rosencrest. Couldn't take it a bit much. I tell you what though, JT, it's all action now, isn't it? One mistake, it's going to throw it into the barrier.
Yeah, and that is all that is needed here at IndyCar and here at Portland is one mistake and you're into the barrier. Yes, there's a lot of runoff, but if you get on the dirt and it spins you around...
It's just bang, bang, out you go. So, Power continuing on as we now look at the battle for 13th. It's changed over. So this is... Well, that's Colton Herta, isn't it? So that's a lapped traffic ahead, because that's not Newgarden, just ahead of him. So this is lapped traffic we're watching on now as well as they come through. As we look at Colton Herta. If I can try and isolate where he is on the board, I can tell you who he's running with. I'm looking for the 26 on the time. It's lapped car ahead of him. So that's the 18. I can isolate for you back at home. It's Christian Rasmussen who he's trying to lap. There we go. Simple deduction there using our graphics available to us. And Herta's going to go for a move here on Rasmussen. Rasmussen should be given command blue. And should be getting out of the way, JT. And he's not getting out of the way. So, yeah, I don't know what Rasmussen's doing there. Being a bit of an idiot. He'll look for the blue flag at the start-finish line there.
Yeah, I was about to look on the onboard, but we cut away to the aerial cam.
Are you forgetting your onboards on the app, JT?
I don't have the app open.
Ah. I do, but it's using our timing screen. I wish IndyCar would put their driver tracker on the website. I really do.
The app which I have open on my phone is the light control.
Oh, right. I can control mine over there as well. I've got Bluetooth ones as well, so it pulses with the music. I just haven't set them up yet, because I haven't redecorated yet. Got them at Christmas as well. 8 months ago. Haven't stopped. Oh, maybe one day. Herta coming in. Sticker set he's got on.
A little bit of trouble with getting the front light off.
Full stall. It had to be umbilical corded, so it was a full stall. Yeah, that engine did not restart, did it? He restarted on the battery though again, JT. That's the second one we've seen restart on the battery.
Yeah. That was... They got the starter ready, but they didn't insert it into the back of the car.
Giggity.
Let the 30 go by.
Let the 30 go by. So that's Fittipaldi, he's been told to let by.
Rasmussen's just come in at the back of the field.
Yep, from the 20. Not sure why they're saying that on the race control information, but we'll see. 19 laps to go anyway. Now 18 laps to go. Hang on a minute. 18. It's 18 laps to go. NBC's timing graphics were wrong. There we go. It's corrected itself now. 18 to go. That's about 18 minutes. As Pietro Fittipaldi is let through by Colton Herta. Now, they are on Trail Lemanaga Racing to Andretti Global, so that's not an alliance thing, so that's a bit weird as to why they let that through. Yeah, I'm sure Grid Tonight will be having a field day with that on Wednesday. Continuing on the battle then for the Grand Prix of Portland. Power, Palou, Newgarden, Herta, and Ferrucci's moved up into 5th. Hang on a minute, Armstrong's back. What's happening with Timing Tower jumped further up and down, up and down, up and down, and put Ferrucci from 8th to 5th. And I thought, oh, okay. But now it's put him down to 8th position as well. So, slowly gearing up for a great exit of this race. Colton Herta ordered to give a track petition because of an unapproved hybrid engine start. So that's why, JT, an unapproved hybrid engine start.
You're not allowed to start it using hybrid on pit road.
Ah, you're not, are you? Forgot about that. JT's been reading the rules.
In other words, JT's been listening to the IndyCar broadcast.
Oh, right. JT's been cheating.
In other words, JT's been using the resources and graphics that are available to him. 484 points below, 54 points behind his Power. And I think that was 57 behind for Herta.
Very well done, JT. Very well done. So, just a reminder that we have all of the action from an IndyCar weekend coming your way. I think I'm with you for the remaining races as well, actually. There's not one I miss. I even give up a NASCAR playoff. I give a NASCAR playoff off to Nashville. So, yeah. I believe, JT, that'll allow you to moonlight on USRN as well.
Yay.
Technically, we're moonlighting right now because we're covering this race. We're giving Matthew Owens a very well-deserved day off. His first Sunday off in a significant amount of months, I might add. And if you're listening to USRN, you can join us for coverage of the US Open over the next 14 days as well.
It must be so hard listening on USRN because you can't see our cameras and there's some of the stuff that we waffle about. It must be so hard to follow.
I sometimes wonder, they just sat there banging their heads against wherever they're listening to. Hello, everyone listening in. We do try and be descriptive, but after something or other, you just get a bit dazed and confused.
Like how I'm going to tell you that pepperoni pizza that I was talking about is now cold.
Oh, right. No cautions, I see to eat. Great method to reheat pizza, JT. Put some water in a frying pan, put the pizza inside the frying pan, cover it with the lid of the pan, and let it sizzle, and you get a lovely soft pizza.
We know how that ended last time when I sprayed a bit of oil into the pan, making crispy bacon, and it kind of caught the flame.
Water, not oil. Or,
do
you have an air fryer?
No.
Oh. Get an air fryer and you can reheat your pizza in the air fryer. Don't microwave it. Never microwave it. Never microwave leftover pizza.
Cold pizza's the best pizza.
Cold pizza is the best. Alongside second to a cold kebab. A cold kebab in the morning is the most delicious post-night out food ever. Sorry, that is me.
You're going to hate me for this, but I can't agree with you on that because I've had a kebab.
You can't. But yeah. I'll tell you what, there's a lovely thing just outside actually, where... who runs it? Oh, name's gone on my head
Castro
now.
Ward runs it.
No, name's gone on my head. Ah, it's a really, oh, I can't remember.
Oh, here's a throwback. 2019.
Yeah, side by side. That was last time Power won here at Portland. We heard from Will Power in our pre-race show as well. Twice, actually. We got a couple of interviews with him.
Well, you get to hear him for a millionth time on the Grid Network. If he wins this one.
I have just realised, JT, you're very rarely on the Grid Network. You're on it right now.
The only time I'm on Grid Network is when I'm JB and...
Yeah. For anyone who watches Grid Network and doesn't know who JT is, JT.
I'm the person who likes to derail broadcasts, not realising I'm doing it. And then I kind of get my head back into gear and stop waffling, and then 30 seconds later, the waffle starts again.
Talking of waffles, did you have any Stroop waffles over the weekend?
No.
No, I didn't either. I tried to look for some at the shop, but they weren't there. I was a bit disappointed with that.
And also, anything spreadsheet related, hi.
Yes.
It's not often that Josh is shouting for me to turn up to the box. It's normally me shouting other people to turn up to the box when they're late.
Yeah, to be fair, you did worry me when we were coming. Like, I was 2 minutes away from being like, I'm gonna have to start the show completely on my own, because we were coming away from the well, it wasn't pre-recorded. The pre-recorded segments of the show we were coming to the end of, and nobody was in the commentary box, and I was like, oh, where is everyone? So I was a bit.
I was behind the scenes setting USN up.
Yeah, I thought you might be, but it's the fact because I saw you were online on Discord, but marked as busy.
Yeah, I am never green. I'm always do not disturb. If I am online or idle, there's something wrong with me.
I tell you what, though, Megan is getting really confused with her Discord as well. She this morning she was like, I can't do Discord. I can't control it. I was like, you just press a button. I was not needed this morning. I could have stayed in bed until 9 a.m. I was absolutely not needed. Jess had perfect control of the TeamViewer. It was just Megan with the laptop that she couldn't control.
Discord is so annoying with sending photos when you're in the middle of nowhere with not a stable connection. I was trying to send a photo into manager's channel when I was at the raceway today. Of the pace car was looking a little bit different. They had one of the recovery forklifts being the pace car, while the pace car was finishing the lap of honour that they do for the winner after the race. They had the forklift take over for one time, and then the pace car picked them back up halfway around the lap. But it was weird seeing a forklift as a pace car.
I've seen a bus as a pace car once before, as well as Power gets through on some lap traffic as well. Linus Lundqvist back in the pit lane again after it's his fourth stop of the day, actually. So
they use recovery trucks as pace cars quite often at Ringwood and Aldershot and all the other stuff, but a forklift.
Yeah, I have seen a bus as a safety car once. That was weird. Like, I could not get my head around that. That was weird. There was this one time in Canada, in Formula 1, where the safety car had we had 5 safety cars, right, in that race. It's back on USA. We had 5 safety cars in one race, and the safety car had just come in, and it was in the process of being refueled. And in those days, they didn't have 2 safety cars identical, only one. So the safety car had to get sent out again because Robin Kubica had his accident. So it was 2007. And the safety car wasn't refueled yet. So they sent out the course car for a lap that picked the field out. So it was like a Toyota Chevy as the safety car, whilst the Mercedes was getting refueled. So yeah.
I forgot to mention this at touring cars, but certain driver was racing in the 1 litre hot rods where I was today.
Who?
You may recognise his surname, Benny Simpson.
Brother of perhaps of a certain Simpson of Gifford?
Son of Matt Simpson.
Really? Son of Matt?
He won Heat 1 and the final.
Well, it's been a day of fathers and sons, hasn't it? Right at the start of the day, 22 hours ago, Harrison Burton winning at Daytona. Jeff Burton was commentating on it. How good, by the way, did it sound with actual passion in the NASCAR commentary box on NBC?
I need to rewatch it back. I still haven't.
It was great.
But I've heard it was good.
Yeah, Lee Diffie screaming, and then your little boy's done it, and all that lot. I was like, oh, it's so good. It was fantastic.
I heard that bit when I was looking at the highlights.
I think that was a 2001 moment. That was up there with Junior winning the Pepsi 400 back then. That one, it's up there. That ending. Yesterday's NASCAR race was a classic, no doubt about it.
Even if cars didn't know how to stay on all 4 wheels.
That's true, yeah. Still, we were done in like 2.5 hours, really. It didn't take that long onto the actual race, compared to the usual 3 odd hours. We're coming up. We're just going to hit the 2-hour mark on this IndyCar race, by the way, as well. 7 laps to go, so it's another 7 minutes. Not bad at all for this one. Will Power going to win his 3rd race of the season at the moment. And I tell you what, JT, Palou must have just had no tyres left. Black primaries compared to sticker reds. It's 8 seconds back now and falling fast.
Yeah, that wasn't really the best strategy, was it, for Palou?
Don't know what he was thinking. Absolute disaster class. Lee Diffie's call on the NASCAR race last night was epic, says Adam. It really was. Really was. Glad I still get to hear his calls, to be fair, on the NASCAR side of things. And also he gets to work half the year. Gives him a lot more free time though, compared to the IndyCar schedule. That goes from March to September. Although next year it finishes in August, doesn't it? Really short season for IndyCar next year. Power controlling it again. We're riding with the series champion many a time. Indy 500 champion. Absolutely epic performance from Will Power today. Took the lead at the start, hasn't looked back once. As we'll come up with 5 to go. Seriously though, wrong tyre for Palou. How he's managed to hold on to second, I don't know, to Newgarden. That is a surprise. 14 seconds is the gap on the timing monitor. So yeah, I definitely thought there'd be some change around there, some systems that needed adjusting. But they have been good. 5 to go. We're in the tail end of this one now, folks. Thank you very much for sticking with us. It's an absolute pleasure having your company across all the chats as well, watching this great race. And once again, it's a pleasure, I think for the 4th year now, scary, 21, 22, 23, yeah, 4th season now, we've covered the Grand Prix of Portland for USRN, for Grid Network as well, as part of our co-broadcast. It means a lot, always does. And long may it continue now as well with the NASCAR next year. Can't wait. Now this is more traffic. That's the 75 with Malukas just behind. So Malukas and Vips in a battle together as they head down towards turn 1, JT.
Well,
so that's the 41 of Stingray Rob.
Yeah, that's the 41 and 75. Stingray Rob stays in front of Vips.
Something stuck in my ear. I apologise. My ear's got a bit funny on one of them. It's like it's got that annoying itch on it, you know, right in the centre. So I've got a bit deaf in one ear. 4 to go. Ticking them down. So who has got the worst race, really? Well, where does Santino end up? Where is he going to work? 8. After on pole. Not too bad, but not the best.
Still, it could be worse.
Say again?
Still, it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be Scott Dixon. Dixon's out of the race. No points in this one. In a race where he really needed to get the points, he hasn't done it, so that's terrible. Will Power is cruising round now. He's 10 seconds clear. It's a Lando Norris style performance. We saw that earlier on today, didn't we, as well? Only the second.
That was insane.
Only the second driver this decade to win by more than 10 seconds. The other being Max Verstappen. Not even Lewis Hamilton has won by margins like that. 22 seconds from Lando. And in this one, it's going to be over 10. 2 to go here at Portland. Going to ask you for your moment of the race then, JT.
I mean, it was pretty quiet. The only thing that I can think of is Dixon and the Grosjean shenanigans.
Yeah, they're the only two really that's gone on in this one. Look, there's Liz. She's crunched the water bottle. Her dentist actually told her not to chew it. It would damage her teeth, so she crunches it now. What an atmosphere, JT, it is for them.
Yeah, Power continuing round, catching up to, I believe that is 4 of Kiffin Simpson. Yes, it is. Who is currently in 16th and about to become 1 lap down as Will Power comes towards the white flag.
Will Power from Australia. If I'm not, no, what do you say? Sorry, I don't know where I'm going with my notes at the moment. He's 4th in the standings. Full biography. There we go. Team Penske. What are we going to see?
White flag in the air then.
1 more lap then to go here in Portland for Will Power. He's out of the sheltered chicane, nicely done as well. There's nothing really you can do with him, is there? He's just so good. 2018 Indianapolis 500 winner, senior member of the team. 2 races he's won. He's won here, you know. Are you ready for this? In his career, he's already won twice this year, but total 43 wins. It's going to be his 44th victory in 299 starts in IndyCar. 190th top 10, 135th, podium 104. It's going to be another one on the belt. 3 times a winner in 2024. Will Power puts himself back in the title hunt. Checkered flag is out. Will Power wins the Bid-Nile Grand Prix of Portland. He's once, twice, and 3 times a winner in 2024 for his 44th career win.
Yes, it.
Fantastic. Championship leader Alex Palou comes home in 2nd place. Joseph Newgarden finishes 3rd. And the championship closing up. Big loss for Scott Dixon today though, JT.
Massive loss with so many championship contenders up near the top.
Colton Herta in 4th. Marcus Armstrong finishes in 5th place as well. Ericsson in 6th, McLaughlin 7th, Ferrucci 8th, Rahal 9th, 10th for Carl Kirkwood. It's Will Power's day. Let's check in with Tom Gaymore, shall we, on the cool-down lap.
So annoyed after that clash at the end of the race last weekend, the Gateway. Had that not have happened, well, the points difference would have been around 40 points. Not 59 as it was heading into this weekend. As it stands, he's just taken some points out of Palou's advantage. You get 50 points for a race win, 40 for second, of course. Neither one of those got the pole award, but you get a point for leading at least one lap, and most laps led 2 points. So there's points in the bag for Will Power here, and that is good news for the fans as the championship rumbles on to Milwaukee. We've got a double header next weekend, of course, and then we will go to Nashville. So this, the last of the road courses. 3 races to go in 2024, and they're all on ovals. And of course, Palou's never won on an oval, but Will Power and Penske, well, we know they are quick on the ovals. This championship is not over yet, and Will Power is the reason why.
Let's go down for post-race ceremonies with NBC. Will Power is a race winner.
It's just about time to celebrate at Portland International for the BitNile.com Grand Prix of Portland, where Will Power, now climbing out, has won for the 44th time. It's only Mario Andretti, Scott Dixon, and AJ Foyt that have more, and he is still in play for a 3rd championship. A dominating day for Power, leading over 100 laps, and Dylan Welch is there to greet him.
And Will get all the helmets off and the safety gear, and a much happier encounter this weekend after a really frustrating weekend ago at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Hey, last week was tough for you. How rewarding was a performance like this today, ultimately, that ended up in victory lane?
Oh man, very rewarding. I came here determined, so did the whole team. I mean, good job, man. Thank you. Thank you.
You did it? Oh, I knew you could do it.
Yeah, I mean, came here very determined. For one, get qualifying right, and then executing the race. It's kind of our not last-ditch effort, but really, if Palou finished ahead of us today, it was going to be very difficult. So, absolute team effort. Very lucky to drive for this team. Very lucky to have a sponsor like Verizon and Chevrolet. So, going to keep fighting ahead here. A couple of bad races before this, but yeah, really, really love this series. I feel lucky to be a part of it and race all these good drivers and see if we can get a championship.
Ovals next to end the year. So what kind of opportunity is that for you guys to continue to just keep the pressure on?
Yeah, I mean, we've been very, very good on ovals. Very solid. Obviously, they're 2 ovals that we haven't raced at for a long time, so you know, it's anyone's game. I hope that we get it right. We'll do our best and take the fight to Alex.
You have raced at Milwaukee before. It's been a while, but does that give you any more confidence that you guys can go and deliver another performance like you need to?
Yeah, I mean, you get a little bit out of it. I've won there before, and the formula isn't that different. In the car, the track is degraded a bit, but, you know, we'll see. It's such a competitive series. Anyone can turn up any weekend and win, so you just got to be on your toes.
Will has won before at Milwaukee. That's where we'll head next week. The championship fight is still alive, and the 12 team is rolling.
Fantastic weekend here then. Let's confirm finish in total. It is Will Power victorious with Alex Palou second and Joseph Newgarden in third. Colton Herter is fourth with Marcus Armstrong in fifth. Let's hear from Alex Palou.
Driver in the series, started third, finished second. What is the key to this consistency week in and week out?
Just the team behind. They did a great job. Yeah, maybe we were a bit wrong with the strategy there. Went too aggressive in qualifying yesterday and really didn't have any good use alternates. So yeah, it was tough work there on primaries, having to catch Will, but yeah, the 12 deserved it today. They were very, very fast. So yeah, happy with the P2 today.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 of your stints on black tires. Was this a comfortability thing?
No, it was just that we thought primaries was going to be a bit closer than the alternates, and we used them yesterday on qualifying to try and get the pole. So yeah, not the right choice, but yeah, we'll try and make the right choice next time.
Eyes set forward to Milwaukee, and congrats, a nice job from Chip Ganassi. That's Alex Palou.
Let's take a look now at the Pennzoil moment of the race.
Yeah, and the moment of the race, indeed, I think we all know, it was the start. Will Power getting ahead of Santino Ferrucci down in towards turn number 1. Let's take a quick look then at what the running order is in terms of the championship now, because Alex Palou leads on just by 54 points to Will Power. Colton Herta is 67 points back. Scott McLaughlin 88. And Scott Dixon, by the way, is now 101 points back, JT. So really, it's a five-way fight, cutting off at maybe Pato O'Ward at Newgarden. But Kirkwood's officially out of it, not enough left for him.
Yeah, noted. NBC don't seem the Dixon and Grosjean incidents as moments of the race, just like how touring cars and ITV Motorsport didn't see the Watson incident as able to be included in the race one in 100 and whatever seconds it was.
Yeah, indeed, as we'll hear now quickly from Joseph Newgarden.
Challenge him. Maybe if we start first, then we can make something happen there, but yeah, I think top 3, second place, that's where we were at today, and so it was a really good result for the 2-car. You know, TireRack.com is our first race sponsoring the 2-car, so you always want a victory when someone new's on board, but this is a good day. You know, I'm happy Will got the win. You know, he's been fast all weekend, and obviously, you know, he's still gunning for this championship, so definitely a car that we want to finish up front. So this is a great day for us. I always want more, and I don't like finishing third, but a good day for Team Penske.
There was a lot of question marks and just kind of unknowns maybe about what tire was going to be preferred today. Did it change throughout the race as far as what you thought maybe would be the preferred tire?
Not for us. You know, I was kind of waffling on it after the first stint, thinking, okay, is it going to be the red? Is it going to be the primary? I wasn't sure at that point, but going into it, I felt like the red was a little stronger for us, and that ended up being the case. So I think that was probably the preferred tire for our car, and you know, we managed with what we could. Lap traffic was hard today. You know, just couldn't make much happen in that middle stint, and that's probably what slowed our progress to get into the 10. But you know, good clean day. You know, it went about as we could have expected, just a touch short.
Championship aside for you, we get to go to 2 ovals to finish the year as the Oval King. How much are you looking forward to getting to go to a couple fun tracks here to end the year?
I'll be honest, I was more excited about here. I really was. I wanted us to get a win here on the road course, and we had a good showing. I think we had the potential, but I like everywhere. You know, it's not just the ovals that get me excited. It's places like this. So, you know, the biggest thing is we're coming to the final stretch, right? 3 races to go. I think for us, we need to have a good, solid finish. We're still in the championship fight with our team. So we got 2 good things to cheer for here coming to the end of the season, and like to wrap things up on a good note.
Yeah, good day for Joseph Newgarden. He rounds out the podium in 3rd.
Well, thanks, guys, as well. Let's wrap up then with JT up here in the comms booth as well. And Josh, final thoughts from you then coming into the... Well, we leave now the road courses, of course, and next up we go to Milwaukee for a doubleheader. Then in 3 weeks' time, we're wrapping up the entire season as well at Nashville. Road course is done, ovals time, and the Penske's are strong. So it's Power, it's McLaughlin, Newgarden. They're further back in the championship. They could be right up there at the moment.
Yeah, the Penske's are strong, and well, one of the Penske's is Joseph Newgarden, and he is, well, the king of ovals. And I've just been looking, because I've loaded up the Truck Series race. This is how much NASCAR are focusing on Daytona this weekend. They only have 1 NASCAR official on the start gantry.
What?
1.
Wow. And
They don't even have a second one.
they really have focused on NASCAR, haven't they? In the Cup Series, not the trucks. Oh, well. Lucky we can do both, eh? In the series as well. Okay, JT, pick me a champion. Who's your early favourite to win this one? Big one there to ask.
That is a big one, isn't it? I don't know. I'm going to have to quickly load up the IndyCar app, because with
top 8
it
still in
is,
it. So that's Palou, Power, Herta, McLaughlin, Dixon, O'Ward, Newgarden, and Kirkwood. They're mathematically still in it.
I'm going to go for, with it being 3 more ovals to round out the season, I'm going Will Power.
Oh, okay. Good bet to go trying for his 3rd series championship. Well, my thanks to you, JT, as well, for your company in this session. My thanks as well to Jackson Lambrose and Joe Sammiego, trackside on the Grid Network as well. You can subscribe to the Grid Network channel. That's where we're going to have the Grid Live wrap-up later on with a few special guests. Grid Encore is tomorrow, and on Tuesdays as well, we'll have more shows coming soon. And also Wednesday, you've got the Grid Tonight show. For JB Motorsports as well, coming up next week, week. We've got MotoGP, Formula 1, 2, 3, and all the action as well from NASCAR and IndyCar. Very busy weekend. On USON coming up, we've got some football coming up as well. We've also got the US Open as well as they begin as well. Fantastic day here in Portland. A fantastic weekend. The championship now has completed its road courses, its ovals to see out the year. My thanks to everybody for tuning in. Just 3 races left. Who will be champion? But here today, it's Will Power, 3 times a winner in 2024. My thanks to you all, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.